Hello, everybody. Welcome in. Carol, welcome in. Oleg, Carol, Barney, hello, everyone. Al, good morning. Feel better soon, Al. Carol, hello. Carol. Hey, Carol, good to see you. Al, welcome in. Welcome in. Glad everybody is here doing well. We're getting storms left and right over here in Ohio, that's for sure. And I know Pennsylvania's getting it. Carolina girl, good morning, everyone. Hope everyone has a good weekend. Good morning to everyone. Hi, Carol. Miss Barney, remember. Okay, Chris, I got your link coming. There it is, Chris. Good morning, Purple. Reminder about newest rules concerning other channels. We do not want to discuss other channels on this stream. Good morning, Chris.
You're supposed to laugh at my chat. You're not supposed to be that serious, you know. You said, goddamn, man, you said 9 a.m., not 9:05. You know what happens when you're late? You got to listen to my crap all day. You know what I'm saying?
I do, brother.
You feeling me?
I feel you.
All right.
I feel you.
Hello. Good morning, everybody. Glad
Good morning, everybody.
It's been nice being with you guys today. Have a good day. I'll see you.
Yeah, right.
Ha.
That's not happening, my friend.
Phew.
Could someone fill me, please, about new rule?
What new rule?
Tell them about the not talking about other.
Oh, so you can only talk about me on this stream. You can't talk about DD at all. This really isn't his channel anymore. I've kind of taken it over. So, we will not be discussing any other streamers on this channel. Of course, unless it's I don't know, it has something to do with a case or something, but no discussing anybody else. And it's not because you guys said anything wrong. It's just that we're not going to have that. Well, let me rephrase that. He is not going to have that here. This is his channel. He's the boss. So we want to have a safe and fun and quiet chat. I'm not quiet. Well, maybe if Dee could stay quiet.
So let me explain what we're doing here. We're having this channel, and we're not going to allow you stay there, drink your coffee, Dunkin' Donut man. So here's the deal. We don't want to get caught up with all the BS that's going around between a lot of these channels that are going at it with one another. We don't want to get into that fray because that's not our concern. Our concern is you guys and giving people who want to come here on Chris's channel, on my channel, Doug's, on Army Vet. We want to make sure, and Bruce, we want to make sure that we don't get caught up in that because too many people are getting attacked, not physically, but maybe personally. And so we're not wanting to talk about other channels that are going at it because we're not going to be put into that fray. We're not going to go that way. We just want to be able to talk about what we got to present and keep the positivity because that's what people come here for. They come here to go ahead and literally hear what we got to say and then make your own assessments on what's going on. Chris, can you expand on that, please?
Sure. Whatever he just said sounds good. Yeah. Let's just keep it with us. You know what I mean? Nobody wants headaches and the people are getting picked on, and give
them the reason why, Chris. Give them the reasons why.
why they're getting picked on?
No, why we're doing this because of what's being said and what's going on, so people
What?
understand.
So I mean, most of you are gonna know why everything is being said and why we've decided to just do not do away, but we're just not gonna involve ourselves in that type of stuff because it's already bad enough.
So you're asking, are we supposed to not mention? It's not about mentioning other channels. It's we don't want to get in the fray. There's a lot of, for a better lack of words, a lot of back and forth going between a lot of channels that are attacking each other. Mods are getting personally attacked. Other channels are getting personally attacked with one another. And that's just not how we roll. So it's not about other channels. It's more about people who are in this back and forth with each other. And we don't want to be caught up in that middle of it. We just don't want to deal with that middle stuff. We don't want to deal with the stuff that had nothing to do with us, why they're all going at each other. It's not that we don't support some of these channels. It's just that we just don't want to be a part of it. We're about our channel. We're about trying to learn what's going on. We're about trying to make sense of everything and give you guys what we can gather. This is all about hearing opinions being heard, and the communication back and forth. Okay, this is not about he said this to me and I said this to him and he's this and she's that and attacking this person and that person. We're just not doing that here. We're just not doing it. It's not a new rule. It's just a reality that we don't want to get caught up in all the BS, I guess is the best way to put it. Does that make sense? Melly, good morning. Hi, Heather. Does that make sense, El?
My own mic keeps muting me out. I guess the mic doesn't want to hear my ass either.
Yes, El. No drama. We don't want drama here.
No,
we don't need it. People come in
not.
here. People come in here and they start, being trolls and start going ahead and start attacking the channel and attacking the mods and attacking the people. They're out. They're just done. Just get rid of them. No sense of messing around. We don't want that here. That's not how we roll. We try to be professional as we can. We have fun and we try to have a good time, but we're not going to go ahead and our channel is not going to be one that is being torn apart by the outside faction. We're just not going to do that.
Now,
Billy.
The whole professional thing, I might want to have to leave then, because I don't get really professional most of the time. Most of the time, I'm picking on you. That's why he pays me to be here.
You're exactly right, El. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, and don't misunderstand. If you have something to say about another channel, like, hey, yo, did you guys see that video that this one put out? That's fine. I get right. I mean, did you see, look, did you see Brian Enton on so and so? Yeah, okay, that's fine. But we're just not doing the crap. And
we just don't want the drama.
No, and that's it. And that's why I don't think there should be any timeouts for people that start drama. It's see you, goodbye, have a good day. Block, gone by.
Welcome in, Jeannie. Welcome in.
So you guys can stop blocking me out.
Melly. You must respect DD and Chris. And this is the people we have. Doug, when he comes on and he's in here, he's a part of this trio group. And when our Army vet makes a presence, we may bring him in and get his thoughts because he brings a lot of valuable knowledge. And as well as Bruce and any one of you guys who want to come in and have a conversation, any one of you mods and any one of you that want to just come on in and have a conversation, you're all welcome. Just let us know. We'll bring you right up. Give you your take to everybody else as well, So this is not a one-man thing, and this is not a one-woman thing. This is everybody's thing. And we want to make sure that we just didn't get caught up in all the BS because we don't need it. And that's not what made us as strong as we are today with our foundation. Okay. So that's the only thing I'm saying. And that's the only thing Chris is saying. We want to make sure we stay true to what we stand for and let everybody else figure themselves out until things can calm down. Miss Barney, good morning. Good morning, says Carol.
You check this out. The town, a couple towns away from me, they sent out a Facebook post this morning from the police department. They were like, "Yeah, we need your help. I'm trying to figure out who this guy is." Yes, you can time me out anytime. Dude, the guy, I can't find the picture again. But the guy looked just like the porch guy.
Oh wow,
Full mask and everything.
really?
And he was. It was like 2:30, 3:30 a.m. and he was walking around this people's house, and they kept picking him up on on their cameras, and they put it out, and I'm like, Jesus, the porch guy here? Like, I mean, same type of mask, everything. But
Wow.
yeah, I was like, damn. Because when it first came up, I was like, uh-oh, somebody put something out about Nancy again on Facebook. And then I'm like, wait a minute. It's on my channel in my area. Maybe they're coming to get me.
That's the whole thing, man. We love what we do, and we love our channel. We love you guys are the channel. All you subscribers and members and people that are lurking. You guys are literally the channel, and we want to keep it that way to where there's a lot of respect back and forth, because then when there's respect, there's more better communication. And right now you're not seeing that. I mean, a lot of you mods know that. You're not seeing that in a lot of other channels because there's that back and forth going on. Just not going to be a part of that. That's going to be a part of that. We're above the fray. We're not going to do that. So that's what we're all about.
But the other day you told me I was the channel. Why are you telling lies?
Chris wants to be the channel, so we'll let Chris think that he's the channel. Okay, let's let him believe that.
Don't tell him I said that.
Whatever I say, don't tell him I told you guys that. Okay, because if he hears me, he's going to get upset.
Right. I won't tell him either.
All right, man. Good to see everybody. Good to see you. Still dealing with issues on my family end, but there's a lot of things for the worst that has occurred, and it is what it is. And we're just waiting to see when its time is up, when the Lord says his time is ready. So
we're with you.
I know you guys are, and I appreciate every one of you guys. I appreciate all the kind thoughts and the prayers and just the really kind messages. I really appreciate it. Understand that he's still there, which is good, but he is in hospice, so they're not thinking very much longer, and I can't justify keep being there when all I'm seeing is him wither away. That's just not how I roll.
No, that's tough.
Our family has always been a family that fights to the end, literally fights for everything. And so I have my own views on what's going on, but they are my views. So at this point, God is with him, and we will roll from there. But thank you all for your prayers and whatnot. Now it's time to get back into what we're doing. So there's a lot of things going on. And being the back and forth that we've been going, myself and Mrs. Dee going to all these different to the hospitals and whatnot, it's kind of hard to put stuff together. But what I want to talk about is I don't want it just to be an open chat. I want to talk about literally a lot of different things that are happening that are not necessarily, it's not like things that are how can I say, like things that would be the big gold nugget that you're looking for. Okay. I want to talk about the little nuances that make up what we have. Okay. And what we're seeing, and trying to make sense of what is happening in a lot of these cases. Song in my heart, welcome in. So that's what we're going to talk about today, is like for example, you know, we know there's a lot of stuff going on in all these different cases. We know there's some little nuances, and I'll give you just a tidbit, and I'm going to remind you just a tidbit because some of this stuff has been covered, but it's been a while. So in the Lena Moore case, let's start with that. In the Lena Moore case, there was people that came out and talked about how she had told some friends that she wanted to leave Brandon
Yep.
Slice,
Slice.
and that she wanted to leave him because they were having issues in their marriage, and she still loved him, but she wanted to make sure, she was hoping for him to change. Whatever that change is, we don't know. Okay, now there has been claims by friends of Alina that there was a lot of maybe not so good treatment towards her. Okay, there's not a lot of good treatment towards her from Brandon Slice. I don't know that to be factual. I'm just going by what her friends are saying. Her friends have spoken out to, for example, Brian Enton, Fox News, etc., and other channels, saying what they felt that things were going wrong because her demeanor and the way she does things, meaning Alina, had changed, and they could notice that there was a lot of changes in her, and that she confided into, now it seems like probably more than one, but she had confided into her friend that literally she was feared for her life. She feared for her life. Now, they've been married. They were married for approximately, I think it was like, technically, it was like only a few years, but they've been together for a long time. Okay. And you guys remember the story. You guys understand the story, I believe. But the idea that she was a promising, wanted to be, she was a physical, she would teach people weightlifting, maybe, a personal trainer. She was a personal trainer who literally had loved working with people, helping them get to where she was, possibly because she was on the path of getting into calendars and becoming like a sponsor in the whole 9 yards, because she was that dedicated to her profession. And in the same token, when this is going on, her husband, when they finally got together, her husband is going through the opposite. There's a lot of legalities that he's going through, or some legalities on conduct of being an officer, in his case, being an investigator. So, a detective. So there's a lot there. And the conversation then becomes, what role did he play, if any, into the demise or the decline and or the unaliving of Alina? And so that's what we dig into, So there is some things that were said by several different friends, mainly talking about how they just did not see Alina the same way as they used to know her. There was an individual by the name of Ashton, I think it's Jeffcoat, who shared on the Facebook page that Alina Moore left, saying after reading her post on Facebook that she said basically, and I'm just paraphrasing here because I don't have the exact wording, but basically that she was afraid of him and that she wanted to go ahead and leave. But every time she wanted to leave, she really did love him still. And she was hoping that he would change. And then the person responds to Alina's comment saying, I'm also thinking about leaving the person I'm with for 5 years because I can't take this anymore as well. I may need a roommate. If you need a roommate, maybe we can get together. So you see where I'm going? There's a lot of that commonality. There's a lot of people that were talking to her that were trying to uplift her as best they could, because they knew she wasn't the same Alina Moore that they knew. So that's important because right now there's nothing coming out on the toxicology report. They did come out on the autopsy saying there was no marks when they found her. There were no marks, bruises, scratches, nothing when they found her by that bridge. Okay, that little small, I say a bridge, not a big bridge, a little small bridge, about 8 to 10 feet in height. They found her right there at the bottom of that bridge by the water. And they said that according to the autopsy, there was no marks on her. So when you see something like that, you're asking yourself, what happened to her? What went wrong? Did she take something? Did somebody give her something? Did somebody spike her drink or something? Because the last time they saw her was in Planet Fitness. Now, I think the reason they say that was the last time, even though they got her on surveillance camera going into these woods in that area, right, and going through a parking lot through CVS and etc. The reason that they say that was the last time that anyone saw her is probably more than likely because they last people that physically has seen her, not so much with cameras that saw her going into the woods, not with so much with surveillance cameras from Lowe's or wherever. This was something that I think they're talking about physically, eye to eye, making contact with her. You see what I'm saying? And so that was the last time that anybody saw her, apparently, that's been reported, was when she was at Planet Fitness. Now she is literally seen through surveillance cameras, but that's not the same as physical, because when you're saw by physical people, they're going to be able to talk to these people and find out how she was, what was her demeanor, what was she acting like, how was she acting, did she act like she was? And according to the people that she met, that she talked to at the front desk, they said it was like normal. So they didn't see anything that was outside the box, according to them. The reason I bring that up is because we don't know if somebody put something in her drink when she was working out or came there to work out. We don't know if somebody, you know how you sit your bottle down and you go do your running and then you go do your whatever she's doing. Somebody could have very well put something in her drink that would have caused her down the road. Not saying it happened. There's no evidence of that, but it is a possibility using common sense, right? So there's a lot of things there that we're looking at, trying to make sense. What happened? How can this woman just healthy? Now, granted, she had some issues, physical ailments, dealing with her heart, with her dealing with her her anxiety, different things in that nature that she was dealing with, probably because of the relationship with her and her husband. Probably that's more than likely what was causing a lot of this friction. But nevertheless, the idea that she was going ahead and being something happened to her to where she walks into the woods, somehow, some way, shape, or form, she ends up being found laying down by the water under the bridge with no scratches, marks, or anything. That's not normal. The only way that could, in my opinion, happen, thinking outside the box in law enforcement, is if somebody just went to sleep or got so tired, their heart was pumping and running and pumping constantly that their heart just gave out and they just laid down, and that was the end of that. That's probably what we're seeing here. I don't know that. I'm just saying that's probably, because you got to really think outside the box on this case, because there's so many possibilities of what happened to Alina Catherine Moore. There's so many possibilities. And by the sounds of her friends, a lot of this looks like it is dealing with something possibly Not saying this is factual, but it seems like a lot of it is dealing with her husband. And the reason I say that is because of what the witnesses that have come forward and talked to the media and said, this is what we saw, So you got to put that in context. Now, what did he do? We don't know. Did he do anything? We have no idea. He is a private investigator. She apparently is on his documents as being a, quote, for a better lack of words, partner of him as an investigator as well. And so we get something happened. We just don't know how it happened. And nothing makes sense. Nothing makes sense. And there's a lot of information there. But the bottom line is that toxicology report hasn't come back. That's why it's kind of hard to see what was in her system. Did she overdose? Did she take too much pills? Did she, when she came out of being in a for a better lack of words, yes. What was that one, Chris?
Mental facility.
Yes. When she came out of the Three Rivers mental facility,
yes,
she literally had they called somebody Uber, I believe, to pick her up and take her back. Okay, she spent some time in there, a week, I believe, and when they took her back, she requested to be taken to CVS. Now, the assumption there is that she wanted to pick up some prescriptions. That's the assumption. We don't know that for sure, but it is very possible that she could have picked up something, or she could have talked to and seen people, because she used to work at that CVS. Okay, she worked at that CVS as also while she was a personal trainer. So the idea that she could have got something, a prescription, because she would have been ordered to take certain things more than likely, and then follow up with her doctor, right? She would have been ordered that, or not. When I say ordered, they would have gave her that prescription. She possibly could have went there to get a prescription. Then the question becomes, did she take those pills on her own volition? Did she say, I had enough, I'm done? Because the very next day, when she got out and this happened, it was the very next day that she was reported missing.
And what's funny is, remember, she never came back out of the CVS.
That is true.
Guy or the taxi
guy. Yeah. Thank you, Chris. Thank you. So
she
goes
in out the back.
Yes, see, that's a good point, Chris. She goes into the CVS. The driver stays there, waits for her. She goes into CVS, does whatever she's doing. She doesn't come out. The driver from the Uber goes in because he doesn't want to leave until, he knows that she's done. He goes in there looking for her, cannot find her, doesn't see her anywhere. And it doesn't really say that he talked to a lot of people. It just said that he went in there looking for her, couldn't find her. So then he left. She never came back out of the CVS while that driver was there. That we do know. We can also know that inevitably, eventually, she did leave there because they got her on surveillance camera going into the woods from the Lowe's cameras on the backside of Lowe's. So
I'd like to know what she did between. Well, I can look at the timeline, but the time she left CVS until the next day, was that when she was walking in those apartments, or was that
true?
Before?
Very good point. And that's what we're discussing now. That's what we're trying to find out, because there's not anything that is giving us exactly what happened to Alina Catherine Moore. And so we're waiting for that toxicology report so that we can try to piece pieces together. Now, there's been a little bit of scuttlebutt that's going out there about that, during the same time, her husband was going through some issues at the police department, for better lack of words, unbecoming of an officer. That usually just means he did something that he wasn't supposed to do, and they were holding his feet to the fire type of deal. I'm not sure what it all means, and they're not going to come out and just tell you. Now, there is information that's out there, but that's what we're at. Welcome in, Normal. I seen you out, just was talking. Welcome in, Norma. Good to have you. So that's where we're at on this case with her. Now, Chris knows a lot more too with this because he's been covering this case as well, and hopefully Chris can give us a little bit too more things that I miss. But that's what I'm talking about, the open chat. I want to talk about cases that we've covered and kind of see where they're at, because it's so easy to forget what happened to these people. It's easy to forget because there's such a big, long timeline, right? And a big gap that's happening that we're not hearing anything. So as that gap keeps widening and widening, well, if you don't go back and talk about these things, you're going to miss the main thing about what happened. All right. So there is more information there. Chris, can you take over?
Sure. So that's it. That's the whole thing. No. You know, I was just looking at something online. So they had her services and everything, and there's a book you can view online, you know, of people left pictures and you know, little quotes and stuff like that, and you know, the people that, you know, signed the book and all that stuff. If you were the husband of her and you have this book, wouldn't you put something in the book? Wouldn't you write something? I mean, am I off there? Like, wouldn't you write, you know, love you, miss you, you know, blah 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 blah? But he is not in that book at all.
Wow.
There's not a picture of him or a picture of him and her. There's not not even one letter from him in there. Like, not even nothing. Which, to me, okay, yeah, I mean, he might not, you know, when you walk into the parlor, you sign your name in the book and stuff. He might not be in the name in the book. You know, he may not sign, because I don't even remember if I signed the book from my mother, but I put some pictures and some blurbs and stuff in there. Nothing from him. Zero, zilch. Kind of odd. You know, I mean, you would think you would say something, but nothing.
But and that is odd, because you're supposed to be the husband,
mm-hmm.
and you're supposed to be her other. You know, when it's the typical, when you get married, you become one. So you know, the idea that he didn't have anything in there about her makes you wonder why.
Right,
it's not normal.
Right, and he's not a suspect as of now. Openly, I'm sure he is secretly. You know what I mean? But
right.
I haven't even seen him come out and say anything.
No,
not a please, you know, if anybody saw or anything, please let us or the police know, and not a word. I haven't even seen a picture of him like recent since this happened. Nothing.
You haven't heard a whole lot about him. Welcome in, Diane, and welcome in, Elizabeth. Good to have you both. Yeah, I mean, you're right, Chris. There's not a whole lot of him having any comment. Like, if it was me, I would have nothing but things to say about, at least in the time that we were together married, right? Mm-hmm. That we had spent time together. There has to be some foundation. I mean, you have to remember, she did say to her friends that she loved him, and that the reason she kept wanting to leave and then she would end up staying was because she loved him and she was hoping he would change. So you see that side of her with the affection towards her husband. You see that she really did care about him. Even at the worst of the worst, she still cared about him, right? For whatever she was going through. But you're not seeing that reciprocated back from her husband. That's what tells me that there's either blame on oneself, in my opinion, or everybody already knows, who knew her closely, how you really felt and how you really were towards her. So that's a good possibility. Once again, You got to think outside the box and try to
Mhm.
connect them dots.
And she was found, like we know, I mean, she was found at 2:48 on June 17th. Autopsy was what, next day, if not that day, they
Yeah.
started it.
Yeah.
So let's just say June 18th. We are now we are in August 10th. It's a long time ago for a toxicology report. I know it can take 4 to 6 to whatever, but I highly doubt it's taken this long for the toxicology report.
Well,
Do they have it back already and they're not saying anything?
and I think honestly, Chris, I think what's happening is that this is just a thought. I think that they have it back for sure, in my opinion. What they're trying to do is now build the case around it. So you have now the results. You're looking at the report. They're telling you what was in her system, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, because they didn't find any injuries on her outside surface of her body, now they're looking at this report and saying, okay, now we got to figure out, this is just an example. Now we got to figure out, how did this get into her system? How did this would have caused her to do this? Where could it have happened where this was a potential means of how this, she drank water, she drank this at Planet Fitness, that's the whole thing. And that's what I'm thinking. The longer, in my opinion, the longer these kind of things usually wait. It didn't happen in the Joanna Ruth Childs case in California. But normally when it takes this long, it's because they found something. And when they find something, now they got to build that case. Otherwise, they're unprepared. And I think that's what you're seeing right now.
Yeah, which is probably the tough thing for them, because one, the drugs, it could be her or it could have been somebody else. Like you said earlier, somebody could have spiked something. But again, questions, let us, I want to know something, but I check every few hours just to see updates.
Welcome in, Sabian. Welcome in. Good to have you.
I mean, really, truthfully, all the cases are important, but this one, I keep an eye on the most. Because I just feel like, I don't know. I just feel like, obviously, she's unalived. Obviously, that's dumb. But, I just feel like if it was something suspicious, she's fighting it alone. She was fighting.
Yeah.
So, this one and the one from Carlsbad, was it Carlsbad? Yeah.
Carlsbad.
That one, I still find that one strange.
Very troubling. Yeah, me too.
Well, because, come on now. It just doesn't seem right. But I'm waiting to hear something on Elena. But hey, look, it could have been just herself. She could have just gave up. But I still, and it's tough to say, but I still put some, not blame, but I'm still uncomfortable about what's her face.
And that's very true.
Her
very
friend.
True.
Her friend.
Well, she had more than one friend that was saying this.
Right. Remember the one that did the interview? And she just I don't believe a word she
Sandra.
said.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't believe nothing.
According some of the things that I read, there was other there was somebody by the name of Ashton Jeffcoat. She was another, and I never heard about it, but she was on Facebook, and she said, and I'm just paraphrasing here, she posted that her friend Elena left her saying after reading her post, I might be looking for a roommate after my 5-year relationship as well. And then Elena wrote back, it's unclear why they said it was unclear why Alina wanted to leave. That's what she was saying. But Alina did write back, basically, didn't really get into the depths of why she was made that post. But so she makes the post saying she really wants to leave, break this relationship off. This individual, Ashton, comes in and says, well, I'm thinking about breaking my relationship up off after 5 years because I'm tired of this as well. And then he's responding because of what she's saying. You follow me? And so now you have more than one person saying their relationship wasn't as great as it looked on surface. And even Elizabeth here had a very good point. Since he was in some kind of law enforcement, maybe he has a way to keep it delayed or hidden. I can tell you in departments, I'm not saying that they would cover for anybody, but they're going to make sure that they can dot every I and cross every T when it's dealing with one of their own, because it does look bad on their department if one of their own is going rogue and doing things that are totally inappropriate. Because once you lose the confidence of the people, no one then trusts you. So it is very possible that maybe something like that has happened. We don't know, but I know that they hired a private investigator. The family of Alina and her friends hired a private investigator, but the private investigator they hired is the same guy that worked with him with Brandon Slice, that worked with him in the department, in the sheriff's department, except that this guy who is now a private investigator, also named, is the guy that's doing the private investigating. He is a private. He used to work with him, and he retired. And then after, I think it was 10, 12 years, something like that Brandon Slice worked, Brandon Slice left the department and got hired by a attorney law firm to do private investigations. They're friends. The guy who's doing the private investigations for the family right now, they're friends with Brandon Slice and Alina Moore. He knows them both. So there's for better lack of words, there is some, how would you say that word? There is some, what is that word, Chris, that basically like you're too close to the case?
You've stumped me.
When you're doing something and you're handling something, but you really probably shouldn't be because you're too close to the case.
You're too personal.
It's basically, it's like you shouldn't be doing it because you could end up being biased one way or the other.
Yeah, I know the word you're saying.
I can't think of the word, but that's what it is in essence. L says, not supposedly to be that way if there's covering up in LE, but I do think it happens. Hope that's not the case here. Well said, L. Well said. Sebastian Sabian says they protect and serve each other lots. They do. That's a no-brainer. Melly, Diane, oh my goodness, thank goodness you're okay. Barney, thank you, Barney. Conflict of interest. There's a big conflict of interest there on why they would hire someone who knows both of them, when in fact he and Brandon Slice, they're friends. They are friends, no doubt about it. They're friends. And he does know Alina, but at the same token, there's a reason why I believe they hired him to do the private investigations for the family. Just my opinion. So I don't understand. They could have picked anybody, or they could have just let law enforcement handle this. Now, I get they want to know, how did she become unalive because she had no marks, bruise. I get that. Totally understand that. But I think this goes deeper because there was some earlier stuff when they were together, Alina Moore and Brandon Slice, when they were together before she became unalive. In their relationship, there was a lot of nefarious stuff going on with her husband in some cases that he was working on. And that's been come out. We talked about that in our earlier live a while back. There was some shady stuff that was going on, and that's why he got into trouble. Eventually, that trouble that he got into cost them to strip him from his badge. They took his badge away.
Yep.
And now that's not something easily to do when you earn that badge.
No.
But the state came in and took his badge away so he can no longer be a police officer. Okay. And when that happens, you know very damn well that something went wrong. At the same time, when Alina was making her welcome in April, at the same time when Alina was progressing in her doing the things that she was doing, her personal training, and she was ending up being someone who was going to make a calendar for products. They were going to put her on her calendar because that's how fit she looked and whatnot. She was working towards that. At the same time she's doing that, her husband, they just got married, they just got together, is going through the opposite end. He's like falling from grace, if you will. You follow me? So there's a lot of that like this going on. Somebody's climbing, somebody's declining. And that usually doesn't bode well for a relationship.
No. Remember how, is it Chandra? That was her.
Chandra, that's it.
Yeah. Remember when she said she was like her closest friend?
Yeah.
Chandra?
10 years?
Well, I just found an article. It's
very good point, April. Very good point.
It
That's
was
a very good point. I still think she found something about husband and started to spiral. Very true.
This article's from Michael White. He works for one of the newspapers down there, and he interviewed Mendy Miller.
Okay.
She's been friends with Elena since Elena was 18 years old.
Oh, wow.
And she's 39.
Okay.
Was 39.
Okay.
And she said that they spoke to excuse me, I gotta find his name now. They spoke to a neighbor of the area where she was found. He lives like on the other side.
Okay.
And he said that, remember when they found her, they said she was on the embankment down by the river, by the brook, the river, whatever the hell it was.
Right. Mm-hmm.
He says that she was found underneath the bridge. So that rules out somebody throwing her over, because you wouldn't be found under the bridge because he didn't throw over and under, right?
Right.
Which, is there. But this is what her friend said. The song said she sounds the sirens. That he heard the sirens on helicopters late Wednesday, letting him know there was something serious. They found her under the bridge, and I thought, well, now, this is her friend talking.
Okay.
Has she been sleeping there? She was sleeping somewhere, and she was eating somewhere, her friend said.
Interesting.
So her friend doesn't think she was staying with the husband and didn't mention anything about staying with a friend. Just, is that where she was sleeping? Obviously, she didn't know. And then she said, Mendy Miller says that the timeline of events isn't adding up for her. So it sounds to me like Mendy is the true lifelong friend and not Chandra.
Well, definitely a lot longer, because Chandra was only
18.
for 10 years.
Yeah.
And this other one was 18 years.
Yep.
That's a good point.
So, yeah. But again, still waiting on a toxicology. Well, the results anyways.
Sure. Well said, Elizabeth. That's a good point. I had no idea all this shady stuff about her husband. Yeah, There's a lot there. When you dig deeper, and we have on our earlier lives, on Chris and I's earlier lives, we have uncovered a lot of stuff that, literally, that is very shady. the problem becomes, and I'm not going to say the department didn't try to act upon it, because they did. That's the reason he lost his certification, his police certification. So I can tell you, as a law enforcement officer, I can tell you that literally, when you lose that, it takes an act of God to get you to lose it. And so and I say that facetiously, obviously, but he had to have done something very drastic. And when you read about it, we did find out what happened. It was not good. And it dealt with him being a detective and working some narcotic cases, and then knowing the people who were involved in the narcotics, and you get where I'm going.
And he was an idiot for what he did, because that's the stupidest thing in the world.
Absolutely.
I mean,
absolutely. So there's a lot there, without a doubt. Hello, Crystal. Welcome in.
Hello,
Good
Crystal.
to have you. So there's a lot of things here in this case with Alina Moore that I'm telling you, where there's smoke, there's fire, right? Sometimes you just got to go to where some of this evidence is going towards. Now, I know we don't have a lot of evidence, but what we do know from Alina Moore's friends, and what we do know from the last place she was at, and from what we do know from the Three Rivers psychiatric facility that she was at, from all that, we can see where the pattern's going, where that started to point to a certain direction. Okay. The problem is, we can't say verbatim that that's exactly what it is, but look, you can look at that and see where it's going, where the direction of being pointed towards, and tell yourself, that's probably what it is. There's something there. And you can't ignore it. You can't call it as fact, but you can call it as in, the evidence is pointing you to this direction. There's a reason why. So to think out something outlandish outside the box, well, maybe this happened here because of that, or maybe she just did this. Stick to the evidence of where it's pointing. Because 9 out of 10 times, that evidence that's pointing there is taking you there for a reason. Not saying he's guilty, not saying he did anything. I'm just telling you from my experience in law enforcement, you go where it's taking you. Just like the case with Nancy Guthrie, you go where that information is taking you. You can't start going all over the place, because now you're just making excuses, right? Without any facts. Here, you see where it's headed. And that's what my point is. Welcome in, Jolene. Welcome in.
And where he lost all his points with me was when he, as a sheriff officer, whatever he was, whatever he did,
detective,
him knowing when he took the car back.
Yes.
That's a crime.
Very well. Good point.
That's a crime. So he should have never touched the vehicle. And then he went through the vehicle, obviously. So
no, and so what Chris is talking about is, so when this all happened, the car was left at CVS parking lot, and her husband, being a past law enforcement officer, or in this case a deputy, kind of same thing, he ended up going and getting the car and having it towed back to his house. Now, you have a person that last was in that car was her, supposedly. Okay? And he goes there, and this is technically, they don't know what they have as far as a crime, right? You got a person that you find, you got a person that went missing, you got a person that you find, and you can't put the pieces together as to what caused her unaliving. Well, that car becomes evidence. You have to look at that car, and you have to be able to literally process it, meaning in the case by whoever's handling this case. But he does something that is so unorthodox. He has someone come and tow that vehicle back to his house. And then whatever happens to that car, God only knows. Did he go through it? Did he clean it out? Did he take everything out that should have been in there? We don't know that. So it's hard to say that, but it would make sense. Why would you move that vehicle instead of calling police and saying, hey, her car is at CVC or our car is at CVS. Can you go ahead and you might want to check it out and see if there's anything there? He knows the protocol. You got to remember, he was a detective. He would be doing this type of work. So it's not like he doesn't know. So why did he go ahead and have that car towed back to his residence is exactly what Chris is saying. And that's true. There's something there. There is something there. Just don't know what it is, but there's something there. I guarantee it. In my opinion.
He just made himself look guilty.
Absolutely.
Not guilty, but you know what I'm saying. But
he made himself look very suspicious, without a doubt.
Now you're a subject of interest.
Yes,
even though you already were, but you just made it worse.
Elle said the Instagram post said it all. Oh yeah, then so.
Oh God, yeah.
I think she's talking about the Instagram post that talks about how she wrote this couple letters, and it was fairly recent. I'm not going to say it was like within a year, but it was fairly recent. And she talked about in these letters how someone basically had really ruined her life. She couldn't stand this individual. Just said everything, how she was really feeling about this individual and how she was glad this person was out of her life. She was glad that they don't have nothing. There's nothing left. It all surmised that she was talking about, in my opinion, her husband.
Yeah.
Okay. It all pointed in, and I love, because I asked the question before, I was asking the women, if you wrote this, what would you be saying? And they all said the same thing, that she was talking about her husband in their opinion. So the idea that she wrote her true feelings out on her Instagram, everybody got to see it. And if you want to know, just go to that Instagram. I think it's still up, and you can pull up those statements that she wrote, those letters to herself or whoever, how she was feeling during this time. You can see there was definitely a problem, not only in their relationship, but there was a serious problem going on, because she made it known she had nothing to do with him, that this person had ruined her life, as she put it. Okay, so very well said. No doubt about it.
And Crystal's Crime Board. Yes, I remember the video from the interview room. The warrant for the car is what they got, but unfortunately it was for when the car was at his house. He brought her car back to his house, and then the police got the warrant to go seize the car or do whatever they had. So by that time, it was too late. Anything that was in the car, any evidence of all that, if there was, if there was, it was already gone. But they did get a warrant. They had to.
That is very true. And you got to remember, Crystal, also that during that time, anything that's found after he's already taken that car, it's not really admissible, because let's just say hypothetically, let's just say that there was some narcotic pills, or there was some, for a better lack of words, there were some other type of things that were in the car that she could have used to unalive herself, and that will come up on the toxicology report. Let's just say that they go and check the car, and he says, well, yeah, that was, we found that on the street, and I just didn't want anybody to get it, so I put it in the car so that way, no little kids get this stuff. But in reality, that's not really the reason why it's there. You follow me? You cannot point that as did you give her this? Did you plant this in her? Did you give it her in her water? You can't make really any accusation, because it's like the Nancy Guthrie, when the Sheriff Nanos gave the house back after 2 days, right? And then went ahead and gave the house back to the family after 2 days, the very first 2 days, and then went back and took the house again 2 days later. Well, that evidence that all they gathered within that time frame, is probably going to be challenged in court with the defense attorney because anybody could have put that stuff in there. You follow me? And that's what they call fruit from the poisonous tree. Well, it's the same concept here. You know, he could say, oh, I don't know how it got there. And you really don't know. Did the driver do it? Did the tow guy do it? All they need is that doubt of claim that it wasn't him. Now, I'm not saying it was or wasn't. I'm just saying that's why it's important that that vehicle should have stayed there and the officer should have processed it from there. Or if he knew that car was there, he should have called the police and said, hey, the car was found. It's in the parking lot. Just letting you guys know if you guys need to do a search or look or whatever. But by him taking that vehicle, having it towed to his place, everything's been contaminated. The chain of custody has been contaminated, you know, because there's no way to know who put that in there. So that's why it's important. But good point, good question. Cicely, welcome in, Cicely. Good to have you. Don't forget to like and subscribe, everybody. Support all channels. Let's talk with Chris, Devil Dog _88, and Doug. Analyze Doug. Don't forget to go ahead and subscribe. We're going to be doing this quite a bit, everybody. And all channels are amazing. Millie, good morning, Cicely.
I know. Good morning, everybody.
Crystal says, let's not forget about statistics as well. 90% of those responsible are the ones to have seen them. Absolutely, Crystal. Well said. You know, a big percentage is usually someone who knows the victim in some capacity. You're right. And that cannot be literally, that has to be pointed out because that's why they have statistics out there for. It's because when they check these cases, it usually comes back to somebody that knew the victim, right? So it's as hard as it is to go, well, but we just don't know, right? But the statistics say this is what, you know, for example, out of 1,000 people, you know, 100 people knew their victim. It's pretty high, right? I mean, the idea that literally it's very high that someone who does something like this or something to a victim or just knows the victim is probably someone you want to talk to, not with kid gloves, but you want to talk to them because they probably know something. That's very true. Very well said. Crystal's 100%. Sabian, I bet her husband is a narcissist. Well, I can tell you just by looking at some of the pictures, he definitely looks like he's been around the block a few times. If in my opinion, if you get what I'm saying, well said, Elizabeth. So go ahead, Chris.
Have you kept any heads up on Elizabeth Waddle? I
did catch up. Let me read this.
I have a video if you want to watch at some point because there's some new clues and stuff.
Okay, we'll go at that real quick. Let me get this.
Yeah, no,
Elizabeth. So, what do you guys think happened to her? Well, I don't think we really know until that toxicology report comes back, Elizabeth. I think that's the only way we're going to know what she became unalive with, or if anything was in her system. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, it could just be a fluke, freak accident of just, you know, her heart just stopped. You got to remember, she was just going. So it very well could have been that, but I don't have enough information to make one way or the other assessment. I just know that the evidence doesn't, or some of the evidence doesn't look good towards her husband. That I will say.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, there's no physical abuse found on her when the body was found. No cuts, no scrapes, no bruises, no nothing. So, I mean, it doesn't seem like.
You're mute.
Again, I'm muted.
There you go. Go ahead.
What didn't we hear? Everything?
No, just you got like the first few words and then.
Oh, great. Yeah. No, I said there's no physical abuse. There's no bruises, cuts, scrapes, stab wounds. She didn't get shot. There's none of that. And if you were thrown off the bridge down the embankment, you would have a scrape or something. So to me, it wasn't physical by anybody. So it sounds more like a drug type of a incident, overdose. Now, was it a accidental overdose? Was it her, or was it somebody dosing her more than she knew? Who knows? And that'll be a tough one to prove.
Yeah.
I mean, you would have to physically have, the somebody's husband added extra medication to her coffee in the morning. You'll never know.
Right.
So this might go as a accidental. I mean, really, unless there's something they know and we just don't know it.
Something like this is going to definitely need some type of corroboration, either a witness or someone saying he told me this or whatnot. That's the only way, honestly, this probably gets solved. Very, very possible.
Yeah,
because there's just not enough there.
No, and the reason that sometimes, like when you hear the wife murdered the husband by adding antifreeze to his daily drinks or whatever, and just little bit of amounts, that antifreeze, it stays in your system. It gets caught into whatever, the fat tissue or whatever. That's how they find out that people are being poisoned with certain chemicals, because that actually stays in your body. It doesn't go away. So when they go test, they find, hey man, this dude's drinking antifreeze. I mean antifreeze. How what? That's how they find these things out, because it doesn't go away right away. It takes a while to get out of your system.
Very good point. But I'm a dreamer. Good to see you. Crystal, yes, it won't be amicable. That is correct, Crystal. No. Sabian, wonder if there was a life insurance. That's a good point, Sabian. Interesting if there was, because it's definitely would send, especially if they just got the life insurance recently. That could point that needle even more to a direction of someone.
Oh, and they're checking that out.
Yeah.
That was the first thing they did.
Oh, Sabian, yes. And when the two line up, narcissist tendencies, empathetic tendencies, it's very toxic combination. Welcome in. I'm a dreamer. April, he also didn't report her missing right away. Sebastian, the very well good point, April. Sabian, narcissists have no empathy. It's only false one. Right. And there's not a lot, honestly, that we can say. Like, everything just seems to be the writings, the friends, the people that knew her. I mean, everything just seems to point the marriage wasn't what it seemed to be on the outside. You know what I mean? It's not what it looked like. So, very well said. Jim, welcome in, Jim. Good morning, Crystal, Diane, Carolina, Jim. Good to have all of you. Great questions, everybody. Great questions. Great comments. That's how we learn, man. That's how we learn from one another. Sabian, narcissists only are empathetic if it will benefit them and get something to trust them so they can control you. Very true. Very true. Good morning, Jim, Diane. Narcissist people drive empathy crazy. This is also Crime Crystal's crime podcast. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe to her channel. And thank you for being here, Crystal. A to Z, good morning. Boy, my mind has been racing between Nancy and Nolan all weekend, so I will be here listening. You got it, A to Z. Thank you for being here. The controller can't stand to lose the energy from their victim. Well said, Sabian. Jim, I'm a dreamer. April, YouTube, Analyze Doug. Thank you, April. All right, everybody. So that's kind of where we're at. We're waiting for the toxicology report to come back to be able to not only see it with everybody and read it, but to try to understand it. And like I said, I think they are trying to build a case because I think that toxicology would have been back by now. I heard on when I was looking this up yesterday that they did end up sending it somewhere in South Carolina to have it processed. So it is local to them. It's not like they got to send it to Florida or to the FBI. They have their facilities that do that, you know. So this shouldn't have been taking this long because it's been quite a while in a day that this has been going on. Sabian, I know about narcissism abuse and I'm an empath. I am an empathy. So it's horrible to love to prey on us for real. I agree with that. Totally agree with that. But that's where we're at on that case. In that case,
got one more thing about that case.
Go ahead.
Let me just get back up here. Since more vanished people have been claiming to be close friends with her, have spoken to the media, raising concerns about her behavior in the lead up to the disappearance. Yet a new post, seemingly made on behalf of the family, has hinted that they have their own story to tell. Lee Snell, a close friend, shared a statement on Sunday saying those close to Moore are deeply saddened and distressed. Snell said her husband officiated the Slice and Moore's wedding in 2024. She tagged family members, including the couple, in the statement shared on Facebook. The details surrounding the situation are forthcoming. Please respect Brannon's privacy at this time, she wrote. Elena has a story and Brannon wants to share it, but when the time is appropriate to do so, in hopes of helping others. Snell also called for one of Moore's friends, Sandra Rochelle Campbell, to cease and desist from contacting Brannon or news outlets with her stories.
Who said that?
This is Snell.
Snell.
Who is a friend of Moore's, and her husband was the one that married Slice and Elena. And she's saying that they sent her a cease and desist order to stop talking to Brannon and the media.
That's odd. Almost like you don't want nothing to come out.
But what, right? But why is Chandra reaching out to Brannon a lot?
That's a very good point.
You know?
Yeah.
Like I said, I had my suspicions about her, and so didn't you.
Yeah, we both did. We both did
in that conversation with her. And now I'm reading this. And this is, I just found this, and yeah. So yeah, it is. We got to wait for that toxicology report, and hopefully they tell us something.
And you guys, you can bet we're just giving you what we're seeing and what we're reading, and why the direction seems to point a certain direction. We really don't know what has happened, and Chris is 100% spot on. You got to have that toxicology report, even to try to surmise something had to be in her system, or she just literally lights just went out. And that's not normal. But then again, we don't know. I'm sure there's a hell of a lot more stuff that's going on behind the scenes that she went through that maybe could have caused her to become unalive. We just don't know that. But this is all just opinions. There is some facts in here on what people are stating, what people are saying, and where the direction is pointing, but there's not necessarily anything without that toxicology report. That's huge. That's huge in any case.
I want that so bad.
Yeah. We've been waiting that forever. We've been waiting for that as long as we've been waiting for the Joanna Shields case in Carlsbad.
That's the stupidest answer I've ever heard from a from whatever. That was blew my mind, and I knew it would blow your mind when I told you that day.
Oh, it did.
Wait
It
till
did.
you read this.
It did.
But I'm gonna send you this.
Okay, go ahead. Put this on, and I'll put it on there.
No. I'm gonna send you the link to the that report I was just reading you, so you can read the whole thing.
Gotcha.
I'll send you that, and
you can play that video you said you had.
Oh yeah, so this one's for Elizabeth Waddle.
Yeah, Elizabeth Waddle is a. Go ahead.
We'll give them the update. You can give them the update. I'll pull her file
All right.
from over here so I can have timelines.
So Elizabeth Waddle was from North Carolina. She went on a trip with her friend to Grenada, to the St. George Island. Very beautiful place. She went there because she wanted to go ahead and, get a breather, get away, just kind of enjoy herself, her and her friend. And it was her friend. She had a business trip to go to. So she invited her, and that's why they went there. In the process of going there, they were going to be there, I think they said 3 weeks. And somewhere in that process, she had disappeared. And they found out that through cameras and whatnot, the last place she was seen was going into the water by the jetty. The jetty's kind of like almost like a boardwalk type of deal, but it's all cement. It's just like a big bunch of rocks. And they call it the jetty because a lot of the jet skis go there to get on their jets and go. And she went in there to swim. She left her towel on the jetty or on the pier, which same thing almost. And she went in there to swim, and the cameras caught her swimming. And then she got out of the sight of the cameras, of these surveillance cameras, and they never saw her again. Now, apparently, there was a couple of people on jetties that offered her a ride. She said, "No, I'm good." There was a person on a boat, apparently, that offered her if she needed, a ride because she was out there in the water. She said, "No, I'm a good swimmer," yada, yada, yada. And so apparently they went on. They did talk to these people, so it's not like these people were trying to hide from anything. Long story short, she's notified by her friend to the husband, Elizabeth Waddell's husband, Kalen, and he flies back because he stayed in Cary, North Carolina, where he worked as a resource manager. So he flew down there, him and his daughter. They helped look for about a week. They couldn't find her. He then since came back with his daughter because they had a daughter. They came back, and then he put out a statement saying that his belief is she probably became unalive by drowning, and said that hopefully they will find the body, blase, blase, blase. Now, this woman was a dance. She was a physical therapist. She did a lot of dance. She did a lot of different things, athletic things. She's a very outgoing person, very loving person, a person who just loved interacting with kids and people. And so she was, in all essence, by everybody's account, a nice individual, Elizabeth Waddle. And now the family is back home. They're still looking for her. No one has any clues on her body. They cannot find her body. And so it'll be interesting to see where this goes from there, which, I don't know. I just find it very troubling. But yeah, that's what we're on that case. And it's been about 3 weeks, Chris, that this has happened.
July 11th.
July 11th.
On July 11th. They moved to an Airbnb on the July 21st. Last known movements seen walking towards a jetty near the Airbnb at 11:36 a.m. on July 22nd.
There you go. So there's a lot of there's a lot of interest here because, for one, she was a mom. Everybody talked highly of her. She seemed like a very nice person,
Mhm.
and she was someone that, for by all rights, should have never something. This should have never happened to her. If there was a nefarious situation, we don't know what happened, so we can't even look at. The husband wasn't with her; he was back in North Carolina in Cary, and so I would think that that's puts him out of play. So really, it's just her and her friend. Her friend's first name is Heather that she was with. I do not have a last name, but her first name was Heather. She was with her, and that's really all we've been able to get. And trying to follow the whole pattern. She was seen that same day. She was seen at a couple like surveillance cameras walking by a store, uh, um, whatnot. She was seen, but the last part she was seen was going towards the water, putting her towel down, and going in for a swim. That's when she was last seen by surveillance cameras. So we're covering the story, hoping that we'll get something breaking here. But Chris is going to go ahead and play a video on that.
I never made her file. I have everybody else's, but I didn't. Poor lady, I forgot to make her file, but I did it now. See, Doug, there's
There
a
you go.
file,
Good.
everything. So now let's see. All right.
Sabian, I've been through the worst and back with narcissists and have been pushed almost to give up, but God is good and stay my hand. Amen, Sabian. Amen. Well said. Yes, Diane, Jim, April, all links posted are big supporters of DD. Please sub. Yes, absolutely. If April and the mods put a link out there, you can assure yourself those are ones that we really want to push to help them get up there as well. Diane, amen, Sabian. Okay, here you go, guys.
Hold on, don't play it yet. I
Okay.
just give me 1 minute because
Okay.
first I want to say, April, I'm here too. Just kidding. But I just wanted to say hello to everybody in the chat, you amazing people in the chat, and to all the amazing mods, except for April now because she didn't mention me. But I'll forgive you in a few minutes. And yeah, so I thought it was time for a laugh. All right, you can run with it, man.
Okay, so here we go, guys.
There she is. Ooh, a waterfall.
Thank you for all you do, April. Appreciate you. All you mods.
Husband of Elizabeth Waddell, the American tourist who has been missing in Grenada for more than 2 weeks, is sharing new details that bring up even more questions about his wife's mysterious disappearance. Jet skiers claim they saw Waddell in the water about a third of a mile from shore at 5:30 p.m. on July 22nd. Kaylin Waddell says he met with those jet skiers who even showed the approximate spot where they saw her. Writing in an update, they spoke with her for 5 or 10 minutes, trying to convince her to ride in with them on a jet ski and not stay in the ocean. Reportedly, she said, "I'm a good swimmer," and gave them a thumbs up. I'll comment that I've never heard Liz describe her swimming as good, adding, "I just can't believe that Liz made this swim. It is completely out of character for her." The family releasing this surveillance video from the day the 43-year-old was last seen, showing the Airbnb where she and a female friend were staying near Grand Anse Beach. At approximately 11:45 a.m., Elizabeth can be seen walking near the pool in the backyard. About a minute later, she grabs a towel, makes her way toward the jetty, and then jumps into the water at 11:47, swimming away from the shore. That 5.5-hour gap seems strange to her husband, Kaylin, writing, "I do not believe she swam for 5.5 hours. Also writing that they don't know for absolute certainty, but based on everything we know, it seems drowning may be the most likely scenario. As the days pass by with very little answers, Kaylin says he is trusting the investigation, which he says the Royal Grenada Police Force are still treating as a missing persons case.
And her husband says they have combed through her social.
Because I mean, from listening to the jet ski people and then seeing her jump in the water and just kind of swim away, maybe it was an accident.
And it very well could be. I mean,
the way you look at it now, it almost looks like an accident.
Now, I hear, though, one of the things I did hear about this was that the waters in Grenada are really not like really rough. They're just
No.
really calm.
Yeah.
So if she became, I mean, anything could have happened. She could have had a cramp, went under, who knows? But the idea is that the waters are calm, so there's not any currents. There's none of that. It's just beautiful, the area. So that kind of is an odd thing as well, without a doubt.
The drowning pot, is definitely high on the list for me now. Just kind of looking what I've looked at, seeing what we can see, and this is I didn't see this video until I found it a few ago, but seeing her jump into the water and then swimming wherever, and there's no video of her coming back towards her towel. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
there's no video of her returning back in to get whatever she left on
Almost like she had no intention of coming back.
Exactly. See ya. Out
I mean,
go.
seriously, I really feel that. I mean, it's very possible. And here's the thing, everybody. We really don't know much about the relationship between her and Kaylin, her husband. We don't really know a whole lot about Kaylin. I mean, we know apparently he loved her, cared for her, whatever, but kind of like the Alina thing, right? We don't know, was there any dynamics that was causing friction? I mean, here's why I say this for. She went with a friend, not for a week, not for 2 weeks, for 3 weeks. That's being away from her husband and her daughter. Now, I don't know about you all, but, I would not want my other half being gone that long. 1 week, yeah, 2 weeks. Oh my God, who's making me my bacon and eggs? Third week, I'm like, this is crazy. It's crazy. So my whole point is I don't understand literally how someone could be gone that long unless she really, really was stressed with work. She was stressed in general, and she just needed a break. Totally understandable. But 3 weeks is a long time, guys. That's almost a month. So just throwing that out there because we don't know the backstory of what they were dealing with when they were in North Carolina, Cary, North Carolina. That's the only reason I say that for. As far as the bacon, my wife loves making bacon. Go ahead.
You always got to involve the wife, right? It's funny. I just had bacon before we came on here. But you know what's funny too with this too is I haven't seen any of her friends come out and say anything except for the one that she was with that they interviewed. But I've seen nothing else come out about her from anybody because I don't think there may not be anything to come out. Do you know what I mean?
That's true. But and they said that the lady who was a spokesperson for her back was her best friend for 25 years. And that lady that was the spokesperson who was telling, basically everybody back home what was going on, she was their spokesperson because they've been knowing each other for that long. And her husband went to college with Elizabeth's husband. They both went to college together. That's how they met. So they knew each other for a long time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So at first, when this first case broke out, I thought it was that friend that was with her on this, and it wasn't. I was wrong. It was actually another lady who was a friend of hers. But this is kind of odd to me.
It is. But I mean, just seeing her walk down and then walk to the edge and then just jump in and see you later, goodbye, I don't know. Like, I want to look at something real quick on this video.
The area they went to is so beautiful, so nice. Jim says, Diane, he thinks he does.
Last scene showing the
I do.
Airbnb where
These are my mods too. I'll fire everybody.
At approximately 11:45 a.m., Elizabeth can be seen walking near the pool in the backyard.
Okay, let me just stop that. Because is it just me? watch the way she's walking.
Okay.
Maybe it's just me.
Okay, go ahead.
3-year-old was last seen, showing the Airbnb where she and a female friend were staying near Grand Anse Beach. At approximately 11:45 a.m., Elizabeth can be seen walking near the
Does it
pool
look
in the
normal, or
backyard.
does she look like
About a
she's
minute
stumbling?
later, she grabs a
She looks
towel
like
and
she's
makes her way toward the
wonder if
walking
she-
gingerly.
water
I
at
wonder if she was
11:47,
drinking a little
swimming
bit
away
and
from
just-
the shore. That 5.5-hour gap
But
Did
that was like
drink.
at 10:30 in the morning.
writing, I do
Yeah,
not
but you're
believe
on
she
an
swam
island.
for
I'd have
5.5
started at like
hours.
7:30,
Also
8
writing that
o'clock.
They don't know for absolute
know?
certainty, but based
I'm
on
just,
everything
I don't know. It looked like she was
No, I agree with you now that you say that. That's a good
waddling
catch.
a little bit, and then she.
Well, she is Waddle. It says Waddle. That's her last
Jim,
name.
calm down. I haven't even. What you mean you quit? You can't quit. You're blue until I make you unblue you. So you're blue with a wrench. You're staying. You ain't getting quitting. Not until I fire you.
Very true, Barney. I did not notice that until Chris pointed out. That was a good catch. Because play that again, Chris. Let me see that again.
Sure, boss. Whatever you say, my man.
Elizabeth can be seen walking near the pool in the backyard.
This is a weird
About minute
walk.
Later,
Very weird walk. Yes,
makes her way
good
to the
catch.
jetty
Wow.
and then jumps into the water at 11:47, swimming away from the shore. That 5.5-hour gap seems strange to her husband, Kalen, writing, I do not believe she swam for 5.5 hours. Also writing that they don't know for absolute certainty, but based on everything we know, it seems drowning may be the most likely scenario. As the
what
days
time
pass
was
by
that?
with very
All right. Let me look at this. What time was that she jumped in?
I want to say it was like 10:30, 11, somewhere in there.
Seen walking toward a jetty near the Airbnb at 11:36. Right, 11:46. Removed towel, dressed in swimwear. 11:51. Entered the water.
Welcome, RS. Welcome.
12:04. Still visible swimming in the water. Witnesses, including 2 jet skiers, saw her swimming far from shore near Grand Anse at 5:30 p.m. She told them she was confident in her swimming and gave a thumbs up. So she swam from 11:51 till 5:30 p.m.
That's a long time.
You ain't swimming for 5.5 hours.
No.
I'm sorry. I was a lifeguard. I grew up on a beach. I'm a tremendous swimmer. You ain't swimming for 5.5 hours. Sorry. You're just not.
That is true.
No way. Not even, unless you're swimming a channel 24 hours, then maybe. But you ain't swimming around for 5.5 hours. No possible way. I mean, obviously it is possible, but I really don't think so. You're on an island with your friend. You're going down to the water to swim around for 5 hours? I don't think so.
That's a long time. That's a damn long time.
Her friend contacted local authorities reporting her missing at 5:50. Wow. I wonder. So the jet skiers told them she was confident.
Click that like, everybody. Click that like. Support the channels, all channels here.
Yeah, I think, 5.5 hours, but they said she was alive at 5:30. And then 20 minutes later, her friend reports her missing.
5:30 p.m.
Yep, around 5:30, witnesses, including the 2 jet skiers, saw her swimming far from shore near Grand Anse. She told them she was confident. So, witnesses, including 2 jet skiers. So the other witnesses, were they out in the middle of the ocean with her?
The jet skis? I think they were just jet skiing around
No,
the area.
It says witnesses, including 2 jet skiers. So there was other witnesses.
Got you.
So
Oh, well, there was a boat also. There was people fishing boats. Remember, they talked about fishing
Oh,
boats
yeah, that's right.
in the area. I mean,
Yeah.
she could have swam until she couldn't swim no more.
5 hours in. Maybe she drowned.
But that's what I'm saying.
Maybe it
Maybe
was
she's
just drowning.
maybe that was the. I mean, I don't want to say that the way it sounds, but
No,
maybe that was her whole purpose.
maybe.
Like I
Maybe,
said, going for 3 weeks to me is when you're. I just think when you're married, 3 weeks is a long time
to be away.
to be away from your husband and your kid.
I mean, if my wife was gone for 3 weeks, I wouldn't even know what the hell to do. I mean,
Yeah,
stuff. You know, when my wife's gone, along with her not being here, there goes the dishwasher, the laundry person. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the hell? Now I got to do everything. We have a very good deal here. I do all the cooking and the trash, and she does everything else. Because, man, I hate dishes. Damn, do I hate doing dishes. I don't mind dirtying them up, but I hate cleaning them. God damn. But yeah, no, now I'm just a little more. You know, wondering like, well, that 5.5 hours is bothers me a little bit because, yeah, you're not. I'm sorry, you're not, unless you're a lunatic, you ain't swimming for 5.5 hours. I mean, you're gonna be too tired. In swimming, you're gonna be too exhausted to swim straight for 5.5 hours. And then if you take a break, you're just bobbing up and down in the water. So, but we got nobody recovered. And like you said earlier, the water is not horribly rough over there. There doesn't seem to be huge undertows from what I can see. I mean, I looked it up a little bit ago. And no body found. Doesn't mean that she didn't float away somewhere or, you know, something got her, but, you know, crazy. And if it was accidental, man, that stinks.
that is true. That is very true. That is very true. I mean, I wish we had more, and we may have to do a little deeper dive into Kaylin Waddell, her husband, and kind of just see, you know, we know where he works, we know what he does, but do a little deeper dive into maybe the social media and see if she was posting anything or I don't think there's anything there, but it just seems odd to me, in all honesty. It seems odd to me she's gone that long.
Added into the other cases, strange, odd disappearance with no. But here's the thing that bothers me. Nancy Guthrie, Elena Moore, Waddle, Carlsbad, the scientists. We have nothing. That's just the ones I just mentioned that I forget the other ones now.
Yeah.
Nothing. No answers on any of them. No answers whatsoever. Like all of them. The only one that we have an answer on is what's her face from Carlsbad, whatever it is.
Carlsbad.
Yeah, Carlsbad. And that answer to me isn't right.
No, that ain't even right to me either.
So, but we have nothing.
Even
There's
Nolan.
Nothing. Nolan Wells, nothing. I mean, I'm hearing some stuff about Nolan Wells. I'm reading some stuff, but I can't say that what I'm reading and seeing is legitimate because, you know, there's all kinds of stuff coming out, but I think it's all fake, right? I can't ingest all of it the way I'm hearing it. I'm waiting to hear something legitimate, you know?
Right.
So, I mean, it's just crazy, man. There's no answers to anything.
Well, it's interesting because, like Sam just said, no offense to this woman, but she looks like she might be bisexual. Could she have been out there with a girlfriend, secretive lover, possibly jealous, issue, drowned? I mean, it's very possible. That's a good
I mean, it's very possible, and she couldn't handle it anymore.
Yeah, I mean,
it's like, you know what? I'm done, and she went swimming, and that was the end. But again,
yeah, that's a very good point. Very good point.
No, I mean, when I first saw this come across, because it said American mother missing in Grenada, as soon as I saw her, and I'm not saying anything bad, to me, she definitely looked that she may be bisexual, or she was, what's the correct word? Gay, lesbian, whichever. You know, that's what she looked like. You know, that's the first thing I was like, well, maybe. And then, you know, I saw the husband whole thing and I'm like, oh, that's cool. And then, you know, but maybe she was having an affair with the lady friend or something. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, it's hard to say, and that's why, like I
Yeah.
said, I wanted to dig more deeper.
Hmm.
Lynn, welcome in, Lynn. Good to have you.
Welcome in.
I do think very much that there's definitely questions that need to be answered, and I mean, there's only two things obviously now. It's either she unalived herself by accident or on purpose.
Yeah, and
You know,
you know,
and
the
then
accident thing.
yeah,
The
then you
accident thing. Sorry,
yeah.
go ahead, my man.
No, just the fact that, and if it was on purpose, then you have to ask the question why.
Why? Yeah, I mean, again, like we said a few minutes ago, it could have been she was out swimming and you know she was just having a time of her life, got a cramp, or ran out of energy and just drowned by mistake. You know, accident.
Yep,
It's possible.
very
But-
possible.
But here we go again. Unless, you know, what is it then? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, we're never again another one where we might never know what happened. She could just be done for now. We may never find a body with any injury or any, you know, but I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, how the hell are we going to know? You know, it could just be another one of those cases of we will never know. Which
No,
is,
that is true.
wonderful.
I mean, that's the thing. That is the only problem is in a lot of these cases, it is just important to try to figure out, you know, try to figure out a lot of the dynamics because let's face it, everybody, there's a lot of people in this world and there's a lot of things that happen that you will never see on surface problems, situations, what someone's going through. We would never know. So I would say there's always a big percentage of stuff like this that happens that seem to navigate towards there was something else behind the scenes going on. You know what I mean? And that's something we just don't see, unfortunately. We just can't see it.
so I just found this post and I don't know why. So I got to look into it more, but this is from Elizabeth. Hold on one second. Let me go back. Okay. This came out. I don't even know how long they've been married. I gotta sound like he's known Grenada. According to her husband, what they witnessed doesn't sound like he's known for 23 years. So they've been together for 23 years, or they've known each other for 23 years. But this is what she wrote on June 6th, 2023.
And who wrote this?
Elizabeth.
Okay, go ahead.
This is in her Facebook. This is a post from her on June 6, 2023. Just so you all know, I will be starting a new Facebook account within the next week, just so I can start moving on with my new life.
Oh, wow.
I will keep my old account because of all the pictures here are of all the pictures here are of the life and times that has made me the person that I am. But most pictures are of my family and the love then. A lot are of liars. I am sad, but I am okay person that is moving on, finally finding my way in this awesome, wonderful, crazy, fun world. I've finally found my strength to let go and start enjoying what life has to offer.
Wow. Send that to me because that right there speaks volume. I mean, volume. Very much volume.
now trying to find out what the issue was before, because this could open up a whole new worm.
Can of worms. Well, that's why I said it's very important to go back and look at Kaylin, her husband, and see what exactly. Because look, here's the other thing that really bothered me. I found it very difficult that, and I'm just saying it, so please don't anybody take offense to it, but I found it very difficult that he would go down there for 1 week and look and then
Leave.
go back home. I get it that maybe there is a good reason why, and then put out the comment, I think she went ahead and became unalive by drowning. You know, I hope the authorities find her. Almost like everything is kind of like, I hope they find her. I hope, you know, she didn't suffer. I hope, you know, a lot of things, not like, you know, I'm praying that she's still alive, or I'm praying that I don't know. Just the idea that he left so after a week, to me, that also speaks volume, in my opinion, just to me. I don't think that's by accident. And then now hearing what she just wrote, or what she wrote in her new account, it very well could be that she was pressured into getting married. She got married, maybe realized that wasn't her, you know, and she wanted to, like you said, if I remember it right, I wanted to enjoy what life has to offer, you know, or something to that effect.
Yeah, it's getting a little more interesting.
Yes, very much so.
Well, no, with just other stuff that I'm seeing. We may have to do more of a bit of a deep dive into her life, just to see, because I'm seeing posts and other stuff that we probably need to look in, you know, off live, you know what I mean? But witness is constantly seeing her father. So a witness at 5:30. Wait a minute. Whose father? CCTV shows Liz swimming near the dock at 12 p.m. At 5:30 p.m., witness accounts report seeing her father out in the open ocean.
Say that again?
Beyond the headline. 12 p.m., CCTV shows Liz swimming near the dock, which was where she jumped in.
Mm-hmm.
At 5:30 p.m., which I don't understand this unless they're talking about the daughter. And that's who that picture is of the daughter. It says 5:30 p.m. Witness accounts report seeing her father out in the open ocean. And that would be the daughters that he went with.
Right.
They saw her father out in the ocean. So the husband looks to have been out in the middle of the ocean at 5:30 p.m.
Before or after?
5:30 p.m. and she was reported missing, last being seen at 5:30.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Before or
So-
after? Did they see him before she became unalive or missing?
It just said they seen him out there at 5:30 p.m. That's all it said.
Wow. That could go either way.
What was he doing out there at 5:30 p.m.? But wait a minute, they weren't even there yet.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I just asked that question.
Witness accounts could extend the mystery more than 5 hours beyond the footage everyone's been watching. Liz Waddle's timeline may not end where everyone thought. Elizabeth Liz Waddle's disappearance has gripped Americans for days, in part because of the haunting surveillance footage showing the 44-year-old North Carolina woman walking toward the water in Grenada and swimming near a dock before disappearing from view. But there's another part of the timeline that has received far less attention. According to CBS News, Grenada police said eyewitness accounts indicated Liz may have been in the open ocean later that afternoon. Her husband, Kaylin Waddle, said investigators were following up with witnesses who reported interacting with her father from shore around 5:30, hours after the surveillance footage, blah, blah, blah. Liz reported missing at 5:50. If those accounts prove accurate, the footage millions have focused on may not capture Liz's final known moments after all. And that leaves a different question behind what happened during those missing hours. Source, CBS News, citing the Royal Granada Police Force and Kaylin Waddle. Okay, so yeah, this needs a deep dive because something's not right. Something doesn't sit.
Yeah, I mean, this right there, what you just send that to me so I can look at that again, please. Just the idea that something just didn't make sense, and this is like that's huge information. I don't see anybody talking about that.
No. And this is from I gotta find it. Let's see. Whoop. This was from this was just done August 4th
Really?
at 10:07 a.m. Pablo is at North Carolina. This is the guy that wrote this. August 4th, 10:07 a.m., Raleigh, North Carolina. I'll send it to you. But then this is on her Facebook stuff and some other posts.
That is very true, Al. People leaving clues on social media before go missing. Very smart if they are feeling like something is a miss, documenting important info. Well said. Well said.
Yeah, now it's definitely
Got it.
something that needs to be looked at.
This definitely got interesting.
Of course, husband says drowning may be most likely explanation for Elizabeth Waddle's disappearance in Grenada. Which, okay, yeah, that's fine. But these other things are... The last people to see her alive were the jet skiers. Final moments before she disappeared before being... Which is true. If that's accurate, then they were the last ones to see her. As search continues, those last moments are becoming a crucial piece of timeline. So yeah, we'll have to do some more digging in and see what else can be dug up.
That is interesting. And you found that on Facebook?
Yeah, a lot of Facebook posts and people posting on Facebook just about her. They might not even be friends, just their opinions of what they're reading and seeing. I wonder why we doesn't get these. Well, this is like people from Granada. They're replying on Facebook to this things, and it says, "I wonder why we doesn't get these kind of press briefs when we locals go missing."
Yeah, right.
So yeah, I'll send this stuff to you, and we'll have to dig deeper because, yeah. So anywho, but
was there anywhere she could have gotten out of the water without being seen, like further up the coast? Yeah, I would think so. Like I would think that there was many areas that she could have came out without being seen, and that's a good point. I'm just not sure that. Yeah, I would think somebody would have saw her by now on the island.
We're gonna see right now. We're gonna take a peek and see what.
Good question.
What it be looking like? What is this? What is this? Satellite view. Where is she? No, I don't want to do this. Add to edge. It's free. Screw it.
Good morning, little clues, pretty little clues.
Oh, pretty little clues. Nice to see you. What did I do? There's no doubt in my mind there's a place to get out. I mean,
click that like, everybody. Click that like. Share the
So,
stream. Let's get that algorithm going. Support all the channels if you can. Become members and or subscribers.
yes. Click and like all of them.
Absolutely.
especially mine. It sounded good though, I think. Do you have any idea what I'm doing? Because I don't.
No, I'm
Yeah.
waiting for you. I'm reading everybody else's comments.
Good. Keep reading.
Could be something crazy like a shark attack. Never
Could be.
know if her body has been found. Very true, Sam. Melly Lynn, no
Could be.
worries. Double dog, very possible. Ole, hi L. Double dog, thank you, L. Carolina Gold, good morning, PLC. Melly, Oleg, hi Melly. Wild Sabian, April, hello, Oleg. L, maybe she is still alive somewhere and wanted to disappear. It's very possible.
Could be.
I mean, after hearing what Chris just read, very possible, L.
It's yeah. It's like I didn't see that before. Where the hell was I?
Very, very possible.
I was sleeping, I guess, because that blows my mind now. So let me try. I'm trying to find something here. Disappeared in Grenada. Caribbean island of the Grenada.
That's a good point, L.
What did L say? I missed
L
it.
said could have been trying to escape for a while.
She could have. But why don't I see? I don't see the ocean. Did it? What beach was she at?
Thank you, April. She was at St. George's Island or St. Ansley. It's George's Island.
Okay.
St. George's Island.
Why don't I see
Well said, April. Well said. Subscribe to everybody that the mods are posting up. Those are the ones that we really want to try to help build their channels as well.
Oh hell yeah! There's a. I mean, just let me see 1 second. And they were at an Airbnb. So.
Yes.
But I mean, you'll see this and you'll know that there's many places she could have got out of. But you would have thought, by then.
Here you go, guys.
Somebody would have seen it. Well, there, this is St. George's. There's the ocean. So, I mean, if she was in over here or here, I mean, she could have went all the way to anywhere. But again, and this is why it's not what's the word I'm looking for? I forget. This is why it's not too rough over there, is because you can see out here in the lighter blue area is the serious deep ocean. And then this darker blue stuff here is because it's not as deep. You know what I mean? It's shallow in here. I mean, it could be 10, 15, 20 feet, but that's why it's not crazy currents in here.
Right.
And
there's not a lot of currents.
No, like in local beaches around here, this light blue of deep, tough, rough ocean comes right into the shoreline. Even though on a beach around here, it's 2 feet deep, 3 feet, 4 feet, 5. It's still rough though. That's why there's always an undercurrent here. But in these islands like that, not all of them, but
right.
Some of them, they don't have those tremendous undercurrents. So, but yeah. So I mean, there's tons and tons of places that she could have got out of. But if she got out of it, great. But what is she doing?
Right.
Hanging out in the jungle? I don't know. You would think she would have had to have gone somewhere.
No, that's very true.
Oh, this is the cricket stadium over here. Check it out.
Welcome, Jacqueline. Another important fact we don't know, was she on any depression medications? Some of them are known to cause suicidal thoughts, or were any of her meds recently changed? New meds given ECT important. That's very true, Sam. Well said. April, Army Vet. There's Army Vet's channel as well, everybody. Thank you so much, April, for putting them out there. L, she has chronic fatigue syndrome. I thought also for someone with the medical things she had going on, it would be easy. True. Very true, L. This is interesting, what we're finding.
Yes, it is.
I mean, because this opens up. It just seems strange to me, like I said, that the husband only gave a week stay to look with his daughter to help in the search, and then went back and just like, I don't know. I don't want to make it sound like it was so easy for him to say the things he said, but I just don't know. If I could stay only a week and not have to live there for a while to find or to get some answers. It just makes no sense to me.
No, it doesn't. Whoops. Sorry, I'm doing something.
And I don't know, RS, if they were separated. That's another reason why we got to do a deep dive to see, like just like what Chris just read, the information. That's eye popping. I mean, literally, that is eye popping, and that could be something that where this relationship was headed all along. I mean, we don't know, but it definitely puts that into play for sure. This is like, yeah. And I guess I'm going to have to get Facebook, even though I don't like Facebook. Seems like that's where everybody's finding their info.
That's why you have me.
Well, true. That's true. Just not a fan of Facebook.
Okay.
There's no indication, RS, that they were separated.
No.
But that doesn't mean that's where it wasn't going.
Right. Definitely. I'll look more into it. Dun, 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 dun. Dee Dee, I'm calling you, man. Can you pick up for a
Yep.
second?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta look to see. What else we can find, because now it's like, ooh, now it's a whole case. So what next? Well, who next? Can't hear you. No.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Okay. Give me 1 second.
Certainly. Nancy. Who did we? Elena, we did. Nancy, we did. Who's this? Oh, I have that whole moment. Let me see. Bum. No, oh, there it is. Let me see. Do not cross. How's everybody doing in the chat? I don't know if they were separated. Something we can look up for. But I mean, who goes, like Doug said earlier, who goes away from their wife or who goes away from their husband and kids for 3 weeks? I'm sure people do, but I wouldn't. I'd be lost. I wouldn't know what to do. I'd be bored.
Yeah, I agree.
Trying to see what the hell I did with my. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Do we want to move on to Nolan? Cover
Yep,
Nolan for a
yep,
little
yep.
bit.
Absolutely. Open chat.
I'm just trying to find something that I had put together a while ago, but now I don't know where the hell it is.
Welcome in, KB. Welcome in. Miss Barney, some people are okay with open relationship. That's true. That is very true. Good point. April, I
me.
just sent you a message, an email. L hi KB.
Oh, wait a minute.
That is interesting. But that's very true. And I don't have people with whatever views they have or choices they make. Hey, that sounds
what
good
it
to
is.
me. As long as they're happy, that's all I care about.
Yep. Are you good? Yep. Okay. Have a good day. But I'm not sharing my wife. No way. I mean, she would probably sell me, but I ain't sharing.
She'd sell you for a bag of peanuts.
She wouldn't even say. Hey, you can have him. Take his ass. What the hell did I do with that thing?
Very true, Diane. Very true. Sebastian, LOL. L, Barney, true. And some are good with traveling regularly and being away from partner often.
Yeah, not me.
It's not common, but some are, yeah.
Not me. Where is it? Any idea? Because I don't know. I lost everything I was doing. Whatever.
So we're definitely going to have to look more into the Elizabeth Waddle case because I think that's just like golden information right now.
Yep. Most definitely. Now I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. All these different things. So. Nope, it ain't that one. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to find something. Well, there goes that. I lost it all. PowerPoint. I don't know. I don't know what I did with it.
It all seems interesting. The fact that she goes down there. Once again, I can see a week, but stays there 3 weeks. She saw the last she was going into the water, putting her towel on the jetty, getting into the water, getting out of sight of the surveillance camera, and never seen again. Jetties, people riding their jet skis, asked her if she wanted to ride. She said no. She said she's good. Boaters asked her if she needed to ride. She said no, good, gave the thumbs up. And always the question I've always asked from the beginning on this is why did she leave for so long? And then how could the husband have just come back after a week and said, yeah, I think she went ahead and, became unalive in the water and, hopefully they'll find her body. And, it's a sad day or something to that effect. And
right.
I didn't there for a while, I'm not going to lie. I believe that I thought maybe somehow he was already over there at the time. And it made me wonder why he would be so not, I don't know what word I'm looking for, that he would not be so determined to look for her, I get it. He's got to go back to work, but I think this takes precedence over anything in life, or at least for me, it would. So I'm not really sure I'm not really sure I buy that. It sounded to me more now that I hear what I'm hearing that her husband was probably just like, okay, well, it is what it is, you know,
Yeah.
like it wasn't a big deal. Like, okay, and that just doesn't seem very logical to me.
Yeah. You want to just kind of, I made a presentation a while ago we were going to go over, but you want
Uh-huh.
to just kind of do a quick run from the
Sure,
beginning,
sure.
if anybody doesn't mind.
Barney, her husband may have accepted her change of lifestyle. Doesn't mean he didn't. No, I'm not, and I'm not saying he didn't care for her. No way means, and I'm not saying he didn't love her by no way means. All I'm saying is, it just with this new information, there could have been so many different things going on. I just find it really odd of the choices of the words that were used. That's it. That's again, it's just my opinion. Lynn, she looked impaired. She did look impaired walking out there. She was on her tippy toes, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
This is true.
Barney, April, social media tells a lot in these cases, the backgrounds of the victims, without a doubt. Well said, April. April, very true. Gene, welcome in, Gene. Good to have you. Dee Dee's Mods and chat, good morning.
Good morning.
Make sure you guys click that like, share it, be a subscriber and or a member to all these channels that we put out here, that the mods put out here. April, hello, Gene. Carol, hello, Barney. It is odd indeed. Lynn said, just like the observation I saw of Porch Guy, he kept his left arm mobile without a doubt. Well said. Gene, good morning. Better late than never. Sam, this could be insurance scam, huge policy. She fakes her death 6 months. Pay her empty back, mean county. I mean, it's possible, Sam, but with the letters that Chris just read, I don't, that doesn't strike me like that's her MO. It strikes me like she's ready to move on, ready to start a new life. And being that she says it so clearly, tells me that she may have not been happy.
The only thing, but you got to remember, Dee Dee, that was from 2023. So, you know, what we got now, we got to try to figure out what the hell happened back in 2023.
Right.
That wanted her to start a new life. Like, what
True.
happened? What was the cause of that? So now it's
Sure. That's
getting
fair.
into
That's
her-
fair to say, no doubt.
Yeah, like, I mean, because from what I read about her and the husband, they've been together they've been together for how many years now? So what
Long
was she?
time.
Yeah. So what was she starting over? Right. If there was no issues, then what the hell are you starting over from? Why is there a new life?
That would mean if they were together for so many years and then she puts something out that says she wants to start over, well, that would mean she definitely wants to start over because this is all she ever known for so long. And maybe that was something, once again, this is just a maybe, this is just a possibility, but maybe she was never really truly happy. I don't know. But that could be exactly why she said that, because they were there. Maybe she knew him. Well, they knew each other in college, obviously, and the husbands knew each other in college. Well, her best friend and her, right? They knew each other. That's why they're best friends for 25 plus years. But when she says that, it tells me, like, just a thought comes to me, like, now she's ready to try something new, because it's just like, I don't want to be the guy that says it, but like the flame has burned out or whatnot, however you want to express that. April says, Chris, sit up. We can't hear you. I'm a dreamer. If she was having trouble with her husband, that's one thing, but didn't she also have yes, she did. I think I don't know if she adopted the child or not. I thought they said she adopted a child, but you're right. They did have one child. I don't know if it was together or adopted. That is very well said. But that's what I'm saying. And then leaving for 3 weeks, and your child is back home. Yeah, that's kind of hard. I don't know whose idea it was to adopt a child. Was it her husband? Oh, yeah, a lot of have gone since, like Barney said, maybe he accepted her choices, but we were staying together for financial. Very possible, El, very possible. People stay together for comfort and because they feel they have to all the time, in my opinion. They do. Absolutely. Barney, perhaps she realized she pretended not to be with men, preferred women. That's a very good possibility, Barney. Well said. Oh, Barney, could be. All right, Chris, go ahead and do your presentation. Hello, Chris. Hello. Mike. All right, he might be busy. He's doing something else. So that's the only reason I say that for. That is the only reason. It's just wondering, trying to think outside the box as to what could it really be? What could it really say? What could it really mean? And that's why we're going to do a deep dive on that as well. Go ahead, Chris. You got the floor. Can't hear you. There you go.
How does this thing? Oh, I know what happened. Never mind. I was laughing because I had to step away for a second, but I was laughing because of what April said, because that's what my teachers used to say to me in school all day, every class, every couple of 20 minutes or so. Sit up. I would be sleeping. That's funny. Man, I just laughed for a long while. God. So yeah, we all know about the Nolan Wells case and what really happened on Horn Island, which we have no idea. But so I just put together a little thing that we could go over just, real quickly, because we all know what's going on. And whoops, sorry, hold on. All right, so he was an athlete at Ocean Springs, high school. He was a graduate. He went to Southwest Mississippi Community College as a football player, wide receiver, pursuing his passion and off the field stuff. He was, they say he was warm, brilliant, and a happy-go-lucky guy, whatever you want to call him now. He also, he was friends with everybody, no issues, just a great kid. And the hometown is Ocean Springs, Mississippi, east of Biloxi. There go my kids. Great. The evening, July 3rd, he cooked his family salmon for dinner before leaving for a holiday weekend. His final night at home. That's sad. But Nolan's mother is Christine Wonsley. And so everybody knows, because it's not going to be in this presentation because it just came out, but she is now under investigation at the hospital that she works at.
Right.
So, that's a whole nother issue now. Again, Nolan cooked dinner for the family. He spent the night with friends ahead of the 4th of July weekend. And the family, said, many things about him, but said that he always stayed with the group. They could not fathom why he'd separate from friends. But, I mean, if you go by everything that's being said, he met a girl that he liked, on that day on the island. So I'm sure that's why you would venture away from your group of friends. For a little bit, anyways. 9:56 a.m. boat departs from the marina, wherever they had their boat, and on July 4th, and that was
Right.
verified by GPS. 11:10 a.m. they arrived at Horn Island. It's a federally protected barrier island, roughly 10 miles off the Mississippi Gulf Coast. It says he was last seen at 3 p.m., which I think that's incorrect. It says by his friends at approximately 3 p.m. I think it's more closer to
4:30.
3:30, 4:30, somewhere in those
Yeah.
times. And I don't believe the time is correct. I'm not sure anybody really knows the exact time or when he was actually seen, but that's what we're gonna run with. So the boat that they came in on was taking on water, and they called for a sea tow to help them get back or whatever they were going to do. But in the meantime, somebody else. I'm going to skip some of this stuff because the boat wasn't pumped out and towed to safety. So I'm going to skip over some of this because of the new stuff that came out beyond this, what I put together. So they were taking on water, and they were yelling for Nolan to come on, we're leaving, get on, we're sinking, we're going to try to, get back, blah, 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 blah. And supposedly he said, no, I'm staying behind with Katie, the girl that he supposedly didn't know, along with all the friends.
Right.
So in the meantime, another boat towed Warren, and whose boat was it again? I keep forgetting.
It was
not Trayston.
no
Wyatt.
Wyatt's boat.
So it was Wyatt's boat, but supposedly Warren was on that boat and kind of doing things. But as we get a little bit further, that kind of changes. But anyways, another boat helped them. So what they did is they pulled them out, and as they pulled them out, the kid told them, pull the plug on the boat, and as we pull you out, the water will drain out, because as long as you're being pulled, the water's not coming in, the water's going out, and then as soon as it got low enough, plug it, and then make your run back to home. So that's what they did. That's why it ended up being that the sea tow was canceled. Now, the funny thing about this whole thing is the boat that was pulling them was owned by the family of Bart, who is either Katie's ex-boyfriend or boyfriend. I don't think that ever really got
Materialized.
confirmed either way.
Right.
So Bart was the boat pulling him out. Bart is the one that helped them. And then on the phone call to the sea tow, it was said in the beginning that Warren was the one making the call to the sea tow people. And it ended up being that they said in a final report that the call was being made by Bart. And to round this out, supposedly nobody knew Katie whatsoever. That Nolan had just met Katie that day on the island. So where that changes for us is that when they were trying to get Nolan onto the boat, they couldn't get him onto the boat. So they had said, this was Warren speaking, is that he texted Katie to find out where Nolan was, or to, maybe tell her to tell Nolan to get on the boat. And then he said he couldn't get any answer. So then they all started texting Katie. So as soon as I heard that, I said, wait a minute. how could he or they be texting Katie if they didn't know her? The only person that would have come away with her phone number would have been Nolan, the one that liked her, that just met her. So obviously there's some issue there. And I think now we're far enough along where we believe that they did know Katie, and they did know Bart.
Let's stop right there.
Go for it, because I got to run away for 1 second.
Okay.
Take over.
Okay. Why? The question is, why would they have all literally stated that they didn't know Katie when they actually did? Why is it that they all said, Nolan never knew her, he just met her, we didn't even know who she was, we just, seen her for the first time? Why were they so adamant about claiming that point that literally they had no idea who Katie was, when in fact we can surmise by what we know already that there is clear evidence or very strong evidence that they knew who Katie was? That makes no sense. None whatsoever. You know what I'm saying? It makes no sense. None whatsoever. So the idea that now we have, from the very beginning, from the point where Nolan was supposed to get on the boat, where they told him, Nolan, when he said to Officer Tatum, Nolan, get on the boat. Well, and then he said, no. Nolan, get your ass on the boat. Right? Remember when he said that? And he said it 3 times. And Nolan said, no, I'm going to catch a boat later. Nolan was right next to the other boat, wasn't he? Sitting down right next to the other boat, or right next to the boat. Why did he have to scream it like that? Was he on the island walking? It's not what I said. That's not what I saw towards the end. And I could be wrong, but he was close to the boat, so there wasn't no need to be screaming like that. But let's just say that it did happen like that. The idea that Katie said he went back to the boat and first said, I saw him go on the boat. Then later, Katie changed her thing when there was a lot of people were being, I'll just say for a better lack of words, targeted and being threatened. She's changed it to, or she didn't change it. Her sister and her mother said in a statement that Katie said she thought he was walking back to the boat and she thought he was going to get on the boat. Kind of a little bit leaving that gray area, So she never once has said that Nolan was with her. Never said Nolan was with her. In fact, the only one who said that was Warren. And then Warren tells Officer Tatum that she confirmed that Katie confirmed that he was with her. No, she didn't. She never confirmed that. She never confirmed that. If anything, she said she saw them on the boat. And then later her mom and her sister said that she told them that she saw him walk towards the boat and she thought she was getting on. She never confirmed any such thing, at least that I'm aware of. So that's why I told Chris to stop it there, because I wanted to make that point clear so no one is getting misinformation.
Why did I miss information somewhere?
No, you didn't.
Oh, okay. I just want to make sure.
What was being said from Warren, that she confirmed that.
Yeah.
She never did confirm that.
No, she didn't.
So he just lied right there on interview, on TV, or on the video that she did with Numbnuts Officer Tatum, when she
Right.
did that on his thing, she just lied.
Oh
So
yeah.
now you got a lie that he stated that was not true. Think about this, everybody. You have one lie that wasn't true that she confirmed it, Katie. No, she never did confirm it.
Nope.
You have another lie that he stated that he said that she went with him when she never did go with him because she said the opposite. And then you have, the information that he's making it seem like, yeah, I saw him and I forgot who he said, Wyatt or somebody said, get on the boat. And then he said, no, get on the effing boat. I just don't buy it. I think he was doing too many theatricals that he was trying to make it seem like they really needed him to get on there. And that he said, no, I'm going to stay with her. I just don't buy it. That doesn't make any sense, everybody. So that's where I wanted to leave off on. Go ahead, Chris.
All right.
Everyone got a same page, what they were going to tell cops, get the story to match. Well said, Sam. Linda, right. I thought I saw Katie in the pool pic, but that pool, Linda, was like a week prior to the incident that happened.
Yeah.
She wasn't, I think she was in that pool, but that was a week. They had confirmed that was a week prior to the incident taking place, just so you know.
Yeah.
Sam, I agree. Linda, how does Warren know that? That's the whole
What
point.
does Warren? I missed that. What does Warren know? What is he asking, or what are they asking? How does Warren know what?
How does Warren know what you're saying, Linda? How does know? I believe you're asking how does Warren know that she knows? How did she know? I'm not sure what you're asking there.
I missed it. So
let
I
us
wanted
know,
to make
please.
sure. And
Angel Eyes, welcome in, Angel Eyes. Good to have you.
Welcome
Put
in
that
everybody.
like and subscribe to the channels that the mods are putting out there.
And
April. Sorry, Chris.
No, you could go ahead.
April, the brother of Warren was in a fight at the island, yes. And he said he had to calm him down. Could he have went after Nolan? It's possible. I mean, it's possible. They did have Nolan out there trying to calm things down because we did see that video where he was trying to calm the first, where he was out there with the fight, that he was trying to calm him down, and they were saying this is what he was doing, and that was Nolan. So I think that's fair to say. Barney, in my opinion, Ellie should be able to check phone records. Absolutely. All of those phones should have been uploaded with ICAC or whatnot. They should have been downloaded so that they could have got all the messages.
They've received everything that they'd want. Even if they've cleaned their phone, even if they go in and reset their phone from inside the phone, that's great. It doesn't reset. It only shows you that you reset everything. Once they take that phone and go with, if it's an Apple phone, an iPhone, all they do is go right to Apple and say, hey, I need every bit of information you can get off this phone. And they retrieve it all. Your iPhone is never wiped out until Apple clears it in the, back at the
cloud.
You yourself can't get rid of everything.
Right.
You can get rid of it off your phone, so you can't get it back unless you, blah, 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 but they can get everything. And I'm sure they've already done that.
Sure.
And I don't know if, I know most of the kids, they got rid of their Facebook stuff, didn't they?
Yeah, they shut it down or made it private.
Some of their accounts and stuff like that. And what the oddest one, the strangest one to me was that Warren's mother got rid of hers.
And you're right, she did. And
why?
Probably
do with her mother.
We don't know when she went ahead and got rid of it. That'd be a good find to find out when, because if she was getting death threats, she may have said, you know what, I'm deactivating this, or I'm making this private. You know, so it'd be a good idea to try to find exactly
Right.
when she was getting those death threats.
This is
Sam,
true.
younger people do not post everything on social media. I'm sorry, younger people do and post everything on social media. There has to be a trail, without a doubt, Sam. Well said. Carol, hello, Angel Eyes, Carolina, Melly, Angel Eyes. Gene, these kids are covering up. It really seems like somebody's not being truthful. And I think that's all going to come out in all honesty. Well said, Gene. April, welcome in, Angel Eyes. Melly, I agree. Gene, it doesn't sit well with me. KB, new whiteboard counting lies. You're not only kidding. There's a lot of lies there. But that was the big thing for me. Why did Warren say, that's the killer question for me, or the unaliving question for me? Why did Warren say that Katie agreed with him when he said that Nolan said he was going to stay back with her?
She didn't.
That came out of his mouth. We all heard that on the interview.
That's where he messed up.
I think that is like a major mistake, a major indication that, he said what he wanted to say. He didn't say what could be proven, and it was never proven.
That moment in time, that interview changed the entire thing for me, because he
Absolutely
lied. He lied. And
once you lie
for everybody,
once you lie and you ruin that credibility for yourself, it's like going to court. Nothing you say will matter.
No,
nothing you say will matter, because they caught you in a lie, and now everything you say is irrelevant. And that, I think, is what happened with Warren, in my opinion. I never once heard anything of Katie stating that, yeah, I agree with Warren, that Nolan came with me. It was the opposite. And I think he did that, in my opinion, to try to throw that confusion in there with people who were following this case, to basically just kind of like muck up the waters. So then some people say, well, no, I heard Warren say that she said that. She agreed with them. And so now you have some people that will say, no, she agreed with them. And then you have others that say, no, she never agreed with them. And now you just mucked it up, because that's what you want to do. You wanted to get the popular opinion out there for yourself, you see? And that is why when people do this and they throw stuff out there like that, that's what they're doing. To me, that was probably his sinking ship, in my opinion. That's where he went wrong. And as far as I'm concerned, everything he says after that, it's not credible. It can't be credible.
No.
But go ahead, Chris. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So I want to touch on something else. And I saw in the chat a little bit back, was about the yelling, where somebody had mentioned that the yelling was maybe staged or something. So the only thing I can say on the yelling, which you guys heard on the video with everybody saying, hey, Nolan, is he dead? Or blah, 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 blah. So if we step back to who was making the call to the CETO, which was now, from everything that I've been able to see, hear, and find, that it was Bart that was making that call, not Warren. So if Bart's making the call, that means that he is either on his boat still calling the CETO, and you hear the kids in the background because he's next to them on his boat trying to get tied up to pull them out. And that's why you're hearing it great, but not great, because he's still on his boat trying to communicate to the person on the phone and and communicate with the other boat so he can tow them out. That's where I think all the it sounds like they're yelling. It sounds like, all kinds of different things. But I think that's where it's a little confusion there.
Right.
But again, the whole thing changed for me, because of him saying that what you just said about
Yeah.
her agreeing. She never did. So, anyways, picking up from where they were towed him, they got the water out. The sea
Hey,
tow
Chris,
was
hang on
yes,
1 second.
yes,
And to follow up what you just said, and Officer Tatum never corrected him.
no,
You follow me? He was leading him through the whole thing. In a lot of points, when he got lost in his memorization, he started to lead him. Not one time did Officer Tatum say, so she knew about this, huh?" He just let it go by so that no one would think twice about it.
right.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I just want to point that out.
No, yeah, no, that's fine, perfect. You can jump in whatever you want. But I would say to everybody, I would say I don't trust the interviews with Tatum at all because
Oh, no.
he was all for them, which is fine. Hey, look, in the end, they could all be innocent. It
Right.
could be nothing. But he was all for them. I don't think he asked the right questions. I don't think, he didn't step up and say anything about, wait a minute. I never heard her say anything like that. He didn't do that. But anyways. So once they were towed out and the water came out, they plugged the boat again, and then now they could make it back in. Bart and his boat returned to the island. So from there on, I know nothing about Bart or anything. All I know now is these guys in the boat that had the issue, and all it was the bilge pump wasn't working. So they didn't have a hole in the boat. It wasn't anything like that, because every boat, as anybody that's been in a boat or has a boat, that water comes in, and that's why you have the bilge pump. Water comes in, the bilge pump turns on, shoots the water out. That's what the issue was. So then they went and got whatever the dock they went to and got fixed and trailed it somewhere, blah, blah, blah. But anyways, just to step back onto the island. Now the fights, the first fight was not including Nolan.
Right.
The second fight, so there was two fights. The first fight was the kid. Which kid left with his uncle?
That was
Trayston?
Trayston Shepard.
Yes. He left the island with his uncle. So then the second fight
in 45 minutes, the first 45 minutes.
Yeah. And yeah, he left the first 45 minutes. So he wasn't even there for anything. He was gone. So you can count that kid right out of it. So take him out. I mean, I wouldn't even have interviewed him. I mean, really, he was there for 45 minutes. They didn't even do anything yet. Right. I would just leave his yep, bye, have a good day. Thanks for being here. So the second fight is, the first one was on the beach. The second fight or argument, I don't even know if it was really a fight. I think it was more of a, face-to-face argument, is right in the water, in waist deep water. And it definitely looks like the one guy on the right was Nolan, and the other guy, they were face-to-face. I don't know who that was. I never heard who that was. I don't even think I heard who he may have been arguing with. Did you?
I thought it. When was Warren's brother in that fight?
At this point, man.
The reason I'm saying is because you remember Warren's brother. He said that's when he jetted out there to where they were at. I think that was the first one. He jetted out there, and then he told his brother what happened. And he said he punched me, and I punched him back. The brother put him in a chokehold, and then
something like that. Yeah,
his brother said, "Come with us. Go hang out with us," and then he came. Yeah.
I'm actually going to, let me just see real quick. I think I can, a teen on the boat called Cito. Yes. I think I can take my presentation down now because Petty officer. Yeah, that doesn't matter because I want to show. Yes, don't save. I already have it. I want to show this next thing because this shows the.
Let me catch on something real quick.
Go for it.
Remember when Tristan Shepard had gotten into that fight, and then he left 45 minutes later. He said with his uncle,
Mm-hmm.
and his uncle said, "Get on the boat," and they left.
Yep.
Remember when they were doing an interview with Tristan Shepard, and he said that the argument out there wasn't Nolan, that it was him asking for his phone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then he said that, and then they said, yeah, Nolan wasn't there. He was like real far away. How did he know that if this happened after he had left already?
Because he was the first fight.
Right. And then he left, right? But then how did he know that where Nolan was at, because he didn't say, I saw Nolan. He said, yeah, I could tell by the voice. Nolan was way farther down. How did he know that? I mean, if you're fighting somebody, how would he know Nolan's way down? Because that's what he said. He's way down a ways. That's not Nolan. I could tell that's not his voice. That was me. He's way down. He's way down a ways. Well, how would he know where he's at if he's in the middle of a confrontation with, Warren's brother or whoever? Does that make any sense?
That was the first fight. So were they saying to him, hey, where was Nolan during this? And he said, oh, he was way down?
They said, yeah, they asked him the question. People are claiming that Nolan was yelling, give me my, what are you doing?
Give me my effing phone.
Give me my, yes. And then he said, yeah, well, that wasn't Nolan. That was me. Nolan was like way out there. I could tell by the voice, he was way out there.
So that the way I take that is they're asking him, hey, was that Nolan, or do you know where Nolan was when he was in the argument? He's saying, no, that was me in the argument. Nolan was way down the beach somewhere else. He wasn't around. Does that make sense? Maybe
it does. It's just I think my thinking is, if you are in a fight with somebody, literally, because it was a fight, how are you going to be knowing that he's way down there?
And I don't know. I mean, if it was, so if it was me and you in the same situation on the beach and what's about to come, how I would know where you were is because I'd be like, well, I mean, he'd be hiding behind the tree because he didn't want to have my back. You know what I'm saying? Like, but maybe, yeah, I'm thinking more so, hey, during your fight, was that you? Or who was that fighting? They asked him, and he said, oh no, that was me. You can hear my voice, but Nolan was down. I'm thinking that's how I take that, but hey, who knows? Who knows?
I just feel like they were asking. I feel like they were asking someone a question about what was going on, and yet he wasn't even there, and yet they talked to him just as long as they talked to everybody else.
Right.
Asking these questions when in fact he was gone in the first 45 minutes, according to him. You follow me?
True.
So if you're gone for the first 45 minutes, then it's like, what did you really see? The only thing you know is that you had to leave because your uncle said, get on the boat, we're leaving. And you left because of this incident. But now you're going to talk to ABC. You're going to talk to a couple other, Brian Anton and a couple others, that you're going to talk to them about what happened that day.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he may have stayed within the compound of the first 45 minutes, but this was an all-nighter thing, man.
And you know what I don't know, though, is this second argument. What time was that?
Yeah, right.
I don't know. I mean, is that what? Can you throw this picture up there?
Yes, absolutely.
So again, I don't know what time the second argument was, but this is the second argument right here. And supposedly, that where my hand is, can you see the hand okay? On the screen?
Yes.
That, my hand right there, that is supposedly Nolan arguing with whoever this is.
Interesting.
So again, you know, wastewater, I mean, not even waste, it's almost shoulder deep water, and they're face to face. And from everything that I've read, seen, heard, that is supposedly Nolan arguing with whoever the hell that might be. But my question is, this is what's his face?
Warren.
This is Warren. He's laughing, having fun, right? And that is supposedly, like I said, Nolan. And this is the second argument here. Now, what time? Could that have been within the 45 minutes of Tristan Lee, whatever the hell his name is, leaving?
Tracian Shepard.
Yeah, there you go. Could that have been within the 45 minutes? Probably not.
I don't think so.
But I probably
because
not.
Because the one that they had, the first one was on the land, was on the island.
Yeah,
itself.
It was on the beach. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So, I mean, taking out the fights and stuff, like, I mean, and again, I don't know what this little argument was. Like, here's my question. Is that Bart? Is that maybe Bart?
Interesting. But he's got black hair. Bart doesn't have black hair, did he?
I don't know. Probably not. I was just thinking, I'm like,
no, but that's a good. Is that
Bart saying, hey, get the hell away from my girlfriend?
I mean, that's possible.
What are you doing with Katie? None of these are Katie.
He looks like he's got an afro, so I can't. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think Bart had an afro.
No, he didn't. But yeah, I'm just saying, like, I don't know why there's no question. Who is this guy? Who's this guy? And why were they arguing? We never heard that.
That's true.
We heard the first fight, but we never heard this argument because I'm not even sure it was a fight.
Right.
I'm sure either one. This one wasn't a fight.
Right.
The first one I don't think was a fight physically. I think it was just a yelling match. I think it was an argument. I don't think there was fists thrown, was there?
I just know. Well, I know. Yeah, the first one because remember, Warren said that his brother got punched in the face, in his eye, okay. And then he said his brother punched him back and put him in a chokehold.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Get off the table, Jesus Christ. So yeah. So anyways, where are we now? So I'm gonna skip a little bit. We know the boat went back and blah 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 blah, and Nolan is supposedly still on the island hanging out with Katie, I guess. I mean, I don't even know anymore. And
I think, Chris, I don't mean to cut you off, but I think that literally if they're banking on everything that Nolan or that Warren is saying, he's already sunk himself.
Yeah, that's why I don't think you've heard from him again.
Yeah, you haven't heard nothing about him.
You know why? Because the lawyer said, shut up. My thing, if you're my lawyer and you're sitting there and you're letting me talk like this, you're fired.
Yeah.
Give me my money back. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, absolutely.
First of all, if you're my kid, you ain't talking to nobody. You know, I don't care who you're talking to. You ain't talking to this one. You ain't talking to that one. And who's making fun of me in the chat? Because but yeah, I mean, like, who the hell? It's almost like what's his face from Nancy Guthrie when they allowed him to speak in court when he was high as a kite.
Oh yeah,
what lawyer allows that?
Erica Layla.
Yeah, what lawyer allows that?
Oh Lord.
You know, it's get off the table. It's crazy to me to think that Warren's mother is a freaking judge. You let your son talk to this guy in video and then what's wrong with you all? it doesn't make sense to me, like, stupid stuff like that.
Right.
So then my next question comes up, and we all know, Melly, you better slow down. It all comes back to now the boat's back, right? The boat's on land. It's towed back to Tristan, whatever the hell his name is.
Tristan Shepard.
Yeah, no, I know his last name, but Tristan. I'm going to call him T. T. Shepard.
There you go.
It's back at his house. But here's the funny, strange, oddest thing I've ever heard in my life. Tristan T. Shepard's boat at his house, but yet Warren's mom leaves her house, drives over to their house, and cleans the boat. Something's wrong there. I understand it's salt water, and that's what you do when you have your boat out. You take your boat out of the water, you go home, and you clean it because you don't want the salt water to stay. Understood. It's not your boat, lady.
Right. No.
Why are you driving to your son's friend's house to clean their boat inside? Inside the boat, not the outside, but the inside. So what are you hiding? I haven't heard any of these questions unless, that'll come out. If this ends up in court and stuff, I wonder though, if this all ends up in court, I think it's going to at some point.
It may end up in civil court.
Can they? But if it becomes a trial for, hey, he was murdered or whatever they decide, whatever it comes out to be. If Warren's mother is a witness of some sort, but she's a judge, what happens with that? Does she? But I mean, if they call her as a witness, why were you cleaning the boat? She can still be used like that, right?
Oh yeah. Because once she has to be recused, and then they can still call her. She'll just plead the fifth. So what everybody does now, plead the fifth.
That's why she cleaned the boat. I'll just clean. Yeah, I plead the fifth. I can't. But yeah, no. So she cleans the boat, and then I guess from there is just kind of where everybody starts. Oh, I don't even know, and then we don't know what happened. We didn't see him. So I mean, I mean, we can just leave it at that because that's kind of where we are. We know nothing. You know what I mean? Right. We know that the friends of Nolan are in the midst of heading back to the island, which is beyond me too. What stupid lawyer is allowing them to go do their own investigation? What are you guys going to investigate? Shells and shit? I mean, what so they're going back. Their lawyers allowed them to go back, and they're going to do their own investigation. So we'll see what comes out of that. But again, there is a lot of information. There's a lot of accusing. And look, I do feel for the kids if it's legitimate accident and nobody knew anything. Basically, everybody's said it's the kids. I mean, they're just like, yeah, they did something, blah, 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 blah. But when you hear that video of them on the boat saying, hey, is he dead? No, whatever,
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, what? I mean, obviously, if that's legit, then, hey, something was done to him or it was an accident, and now they just
made it worse.
Because obviously if something happened on the boat, they threw his ass in the ocean. Yeah. Now you're at least
tampering with evidence, obstruction.
Yeah, you're screwed now. But again, I still have a problem. I get it, the currents, the tides and the waves and all that stuff, but if you're telling me that they were on their way back in and something happened on the boat and he was to the northwest is up and they need to be, so they're up, the Northwest is up here, they need to be here to get back. I mean, they can go the long way. But if you're saying to me that they left the island because everybody would have been able to see you, right? Everybody would have saw you that was there, right?
Right.
And there's 1,000 boats out there. So they were coming back to shore and something happened and they threw them off, saying on the way back. Did he really sit in the ocean and then go all the way around the island and come back to the Northwest side? I mean, it's possible, but just seems a little odd to me. But who knows? And I guess we're still still where we were or where we are, really with nothing.
The one thing that I will say, I haven't really heard much of an argument from the friends in what happened to Nolan. I haven't heard much about, like, I've heard that he didn't come with us, and Katie confirmed it from Warren. I've heard from Tristan that, man, I just missed my friend. And I've heard from, well, there was another individual that he interviewed, Tatum, that basically no one has said what happened to Nolan. No one has said, like, all they can say is he stayed back. He stayed back. He stayed back. Oh, those currents are pretty bad. I mean, they could have took him out there. He stayed back. That's all they could really say.
Right.
And then you go to the other individuals and you ask the question, what did they say? Why did you have the phone? Why did you go ahead and have his keys? Why were they left on a boat if he was staying behind? Why did Katie say that she thought he was going on the boat? Why did you say that Katie confirmed that you said he went with her when he didn't? Why did you say that? You follow me? There's so many questions as to why when it comes to the friends, but there's very few answers from the friends as to what happened to Nolan.
Right.
Once again, you got to go, sometimes when things are you're seeing things, you got to go towards what you're seeing. And I'm not seeing, like, if they had said, we saw Nolan go swimming and he went way out there, and I don't know if he was, taking a leak or whatever. And then we all, kind of turned around and just started, we didn't even notice. We thought he'd be back. And then we noticed he was gone because we were all drinking. That kind of makes sense. But my God, say it.
Right.
But it doesn't make sense
right.
because they didn't say it. They don't say stuff like that.
No, it wasn't even maybe he slipped on a rock, because there was a shit ton of rocks there too. Like you could climb. Right. They didn't even say, oh, maybe he slipped on a rock and hit his head and fell in the water and drowned, or you know what I mean? They didn't say anything. They just said, oh no, I don't know. No, we just seen him. That was it. There is no anything.
I mean, it makes no sense to me, And then the Tatum interviews. I don't have a problem that he interviews him. What I have a problem is when he tries to say, I just hear because I just want the truth. I want you guys to have a voice. I want you guys to be able to say all these things, to literally have a platform to speak your mind. And yet, when he asked the young men, why did you ask me to go ahead and want me to do it? Oh, well, because you were on our side, because you were supporting us, because we like you, we like watching you. Well, that's not a person that's coming in as a biased individual that's coming in to say, I just want to know the facts. You follow me? It's like he just did it to himself. He says these things that are illogical. And then he tries, in the interview with Nancy Grace, he tried to make it seem like he was just that they didn't do a polygraph test. They did a stress test. Mm-hmm. And so Nancy says, well, so they didn't do a polygraph test. Then they find out what the stress test consists of versus the polygraph. And it's a night and day, So I don't see how the cops are not saying anything because they're doing their investigation supposedly. The coroner's not saying anything because he's going to wait to grand jury. And the kids are not saying anything because it's almost like at the end of the day, we'll just plead the damn fifth.
Yeah. I'm calling the coroner. I'm calling the coroner today. Dan? Is that who it was?
The coroner?
Did I call the coroner and talk to Dan? Or was that it was the coroner's office. I'll call him again today and say, hey, Dan, sup? Any toxicology report yet? No, you have to call the DA's office. So, all right, Dan, thanks, buddy. He was so nice to talk to. He was so nice. But
that's the thing, man. They're keeping the problem that's happening is they're keeping everybody hush hush, and they're not answering the questions. They're saying, like, you hear more about the boat and you hear more about the only time you hear about Nolan on that boat is when you hear that call to Cito, saying, Nolan, wake up, no, wake up, about whatever the case may be. You don't hear anything of a defense, almost like, no, I know what happened.
But they didn't even ask the question. What's all that in the background? What is everybody saying? If you don't know nothing, what is everybody saying?
Yeah, what are they talking about? That. Absolutely. What are they talking about? What do they mean when they say no?
What do they mean when is he dead? I mean, like, hello.
It just makes me sick, man, because I don't see none of them really trying to give you the answer what happened to him. I see them just saying, it's all him. It's all him. He did it to himself. He wanted to stay there. When in fact, the girl that they're saying that he wanted to stay with said, he didn't stay with me. He left.
Right.
He went to your boat and I thought he got on the boat. Well, I think she would know if somebody was with her that rest of the day or not.
And the other thing is I've only heard Warren. Hold on. What am I saying? Hold on. Let me think. How was I phrasing this? I don't even know.
And true, April, true with the polygraph that it doesn't hold up in court or stand up in court. Totally agree with you. But at least
points to the liar.
But exactly. It just tells you that whether this person is being untruthful. And so then you can like try to navigate those untruthfulnesses that he's trying to either evade the question or not answer the question or deceive you. Because that's what this polygraph will do, that they could then try to navigate through that and ask the questions that inevitably will put him in a position where he's going to have to say yes or no. And either way he goes, it's a bad.
Miss Bonnie, I'm not ignoring you. I missed the question because Chris, was the picture of the boat we were curious about ever checked out more? Which boat are you talking about? The Mac Daddy boat?
Sugar Daddy?
Because the Mac Daddy boat, I guess, ends up not being Katie's dad. So It's the boat that's not even worried about anymore. And the person on the back was not Nolan. So if that's the one you're asking about, Miss Barney.
Chris, was the picture of the boat we were curious about wherever checked out? As far as I think she's talking about, were they ever did they ever have dogs check it out?
That I don't know.
Did they? I don't think they did, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I was just kidding. Sugar Daddy. Mac Daddy, Sugar Daddy. I tell you what, those Sugar Daddies were pretty good. That was a pretty good caramel that you ate, that sucker, Sugar Daddy.
Man, another earthquake.
So that's pretty much that. And I see a lot of comments, or not comments here, but I see a lot of different videos that talk about certain things that really don't mean jack. It doesn't mean anything.
They don't.
They mean nothing. But I would like to know, because that is a fair question you asked earlier, Chris, when Mrs. Nolan's mom, Wansley, when she went ahead and closed her social media, did she close it when all the threats were coming out, or did she close it, before then?
Before.
Okay, see, that's what I don't know. We need to find a timeline on that.
I will, but it's because I mean, if you think about it, the death threats were what, a few weeks ago?
Just something like that.
But when we heard that first, it was when we were first starting to learn that she was cleaning the boat. So that was before the death threats.
Gotcha.
So, but I'll look back, see what we can find. But I do have to take off in a couple minutes. I gotta go do something at the school.
Okay.
So
well, there you go. Everybody, we've been on for Jesus
3 hours 15
3
minutes.
hours and 15 minutes.
Are you on at 5 again?
Yeah,
or?
yeah.
Do we just pick up at 5?
We'll pick up where we left off.
All right.
We'll pick up because I think it's a good topic, because we're covering the different things, and there's still a lot more cases that we got to cover, even the Nancy all over again. So we got a lot of questions that need so we're going to be doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Sound good, everybody?
We'll see you guys at 5.
I know my granddaughters have a Snapchat, and they delete it in 24 hours. Yeah. I know my granddaughters have a Snapchat. Bruce, so 2 of my aunts and uncle's cats on my bed stretch out so funny. Well, no doubt. I was going to pick up my cat, but he clawed me the last time, so I didn't want to make that mistake.
Yeah, that's because the cat kicked his ass.
That's okay. That's
Get off the
okay.
table.
He's not going to do it the second time. His party, Chrissy.
No, because then you'll be with Shy One Cat.
Millie, sounds good. I'm a dreamer. Have a good day, everyone. April, if I don't have blue dress on, Chris, I will understand.
Who said that?
April.
No,
Bruce.
Be in a blue dress.
April, I do use any of them. So here's the thing, everybody. We're going to be picking up this at 5.
Can you do me one favor? Sorry to cut you off. Can
Yes.
you just throw that picture up? This is what Barney was talking about. I forgot, but I hit the leg. Remember the leg?
Yep.
I haven't heard anything about it. I could only find this, so I don't know.
I heard someone talking about this actual picture about the leg, and it was on was it on Nancy Grace? They were talking about that leg, and I didn't hear the whole thing, but they were talking about that leg. So obviously, someone has caught on to that picture with that leg.
mean,
I just don't know exactly what they were. I don't know if it was a short or what, but
it probably was.
I want to say it was Nancy.
Yeah, the only thing that sticks out, the only reason I said anything is usually when you're on a boat, you don't hang your leg over the side, right?
Right.
If you're laying down relaxing, you don't hang your leg over the side. I mean, you could.
It's just not normal.
No, it's just not normal. And, it is an odd picture, but we'll see what we can do with that picture too. You know what I mean? But
all right, everybody.
What we were talking about. So I was like, oh man, sorry.
You guys are very welcome.
We'll see you guys at 5 o'clock. You guys have a good afternoon. Dee Dee, we'll talk later. And
you got it, my friend.
Thank you for everybody. Thank you for being here. Likes, thumbs, subs.
Don't forget to subscribe to the channels, everybody. That's the only way we help each other grow. So if you guys can do that, support the channels, that'd be awesome. And pass the word around. Word of mouth is the biggest thing you can do.
Yes, it is. And wish me a happy birthday, because you guys have missed it for the last, bunch of years. It's not till September 29th, but you guys.
Oh my God! Well, that's a hint. I got to write it down. September 29th. September 29th.
You guys have missed it all these years. Come on, make up for it. But anyway, All right, y'all.
Love you,
Love
brother.
yous
Take
all.
care. Talk to you later.
I'll see you in a bit. Yep. Later on,
Semper
Pete.
Fi.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Semper Fi, man.
You got it, my friend. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for being on the channel. Thank you to all the mods. You guys do a wonderful job. It's awesome to have you guys, and you guys always do a very good job. Barney says, class dismissed till 5. Bruce, we're on the road on boat in the Philippines with my leg out sometimes. Yeah, I mean, it just, yeah, some people would do that, I would think, but I wouldn't because I don't want to fall in. Gene, Melly, you also enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you so much, Gene, for being here. Appreciate you. Always appreciated you. And Melly, you as well, Gene. April, God bless you. Take care. Oh, shit. Happy most birthday, Christmas. So, like I said, everybody, Barney and everybody, all the mods, KB, everybody who's here, don't forget to click the like before you leave. And always support the channels that we go ahead and the mods put on this live, because that's what we do. We try to help out other channels as well, help each other out. So with that, God bless you. Appreciate you. Love you all. Take care. See you guys at 5 o'clock. Remember, it's all common sense, everybody. It's all common sense. Semper Fi, everybody.